Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I'm Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and joining me once again after her hiatus last week is Mel, aka Melarina.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
I heard
We
it was
missed
chaos
you.
without me, so you're welcome for coming back to reel these people in.
Yeah. The boys got a little fiery. It's what happens when you bring an Australian and a British guy together, and then a Midwesterner like me, and then it was a wild show, but we had a good time. But I feel like Mom would have kept us in order a little bit better if you'd been here. Oh, and then we also have Only Black Smoke. Welcome. How you doing?
Hello. I'm delightful, everybody. Thanks for having me, as always. It's lovely to see your faces.
You too. You're getting the beard's getting longer there, isn't it?
I know. I desperately need a shave and a haircut, but I am in the middle of packing up my house to move. So
Is that the married life? Didn't you just get married?
I got married in September, yeah.
Yeah. So,
During
let yourself go, let all your hair grow out. And
Exactly. I gained 90 pounds.
locked it down.
Delightful.
Like, okay.
I'm done.
I blame Sod.
That's probably more accurate.
We're also joined by the man himself, the man of guides, Joardee. How you doing?
What's up? How's it going? Hi, Mel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Just wanted to say, missing that Ruby Sanctum guide. Just hint, nudge.
And Lich King, apparently.
Oh man.
So we killed it on was it yesterday? What is today? Saturday? Killed it on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll get one done.
Yeah, we went in there and we did a bunch of prog. We did get to the second. Like we kept getting to the second, like when you go down under and those lines, you're trying to.
We kept getting to phase 3.
Yeah, but we kept all dying at once with those lines. Those lines.
The cutters.
Yeah, the cutters.
Yeah.
And it was I swear we weren't in the cutters, so I swear the graphic is way smaller than the actual hitbox of the cutter.
The hitbox is pretty big.
I think we were too close to the boss where they all come together, and I think we were in between where we thought they'd be, but when they hit the boss, I think they it was something, but
it was pretty comical. And then, like normal, we switched it to normal and did it with our eyes closed. It's such a vast difference between the two difficulties. It's always been a bit annoying, but but we got it down on normal. We didn't get it down on regular. But next week with the Joardee guide, we're definitely going to do it.
I guess I got to do it.
Oh.
It's such a weird thing. So much trash and just for so little. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Wish it would have came out during TOC.
It's a bummer of an instance for sure.
Yeah. TOC would have been really good. They would have had to tweak the items. Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
Yeah, it would have been smarter. Oh well.
Drop the eye level. Would have had a much more eventful summer.
Yeah.
True.
All right, guys. I'd like to start the show off always by thanking our tank patrons at Thick Lizzie, Croxford, Braxton, and Turtle Whale. I want to mention we stream the show live on twitch.tv/BlazinBob. That's BLAZZINBOB. If you want to join our newish but getting older Discord server, the non-hacked one, it's warcraftreloaded.com/Discord. And with just a reminder, guys, with Phase 2 coming in, if you want to think of us when you get your Rested XP guide, please use the link in the description or code RELOADED at checkout. And I believe Joardee has a code too. If you use Joardee, you can support him. I think
use Bob's code. Use their code.
Use my code. I don't have one.
I think you always say your code is Sarth. All right.
Me?
Well, yeah, I think you said that the last time, but I could be wrong.
I feel like Winky is more on brand for me.
Winky, yep. And then, so we're gonna start the show off with a couple voicemails. It's 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded to leave those. We're gonna do those. You get a little bit of what we've been doing recently. Then we have our comment of the week we'll be going over. We had a good one this week, and there is 2 of them, but we're going to read the second one right before our phase 2 prep, which will be coming at the end. But then we move to the news, and then at the end, phase 2 prep, a little spoiler. If you want to go from 25 to 28, possibly even 29 in an hour after phase 2 launch, you should stick around and hear some of what these guys have to say. But that's going to be the show. My dog's excited about it, and we're excited too. We're going to get right into it. You guys ready for this voicemail?
Born ready.
Hell yeah.
All right, here it comes.
Hey, Bob and Mel. It's Infinite Yo coming at you from Crusader Strike. Got some food for conversation. With Phase 2 being announced, but no runes really being released, what class or spec do you really think is going to come out on top? Priest Healing kind of took over. We got the underdog Shaman tank being the single threat king. Warriors sneaking out, coming up top like we always thought they would eventually, but not so early. So what do you guys think? As a dad gamer, I need to make my picks wisely because I only got time for really one. Have a good one. Thanks for the show. Take care.
Now, he said Shaman's single threat king. I think what he meant was they're the single king of threat because they're the best against, like they're like kind of the only tank at the moment that can keep aggro on all of the mobs. So they're the best AoE tank, but maybe just best tank of all. But I feel like Rogue would be the best single target tank, but there hasn't been enough people trying it, I guess. I know, haven't you tried it with Simonize, Joardee?
Yeah, it works great. I mean, the combo point thing I think makes it frustrating.
Yeah, it's like genuinely like a single target like tank. Like if they have to switch targets once, they are screwing themselves for sure.
I have a prediction that Rogue will be the best tank at 60, but it'll take some time to get online.
I think so too. I think that for the first time, because you know how like on DPS, like people always say like, oh, like druids, then rogues, then warriors scale with gear in that order. Like, you know, as soon as you get to level 60, feral druid DPS is insane for no reason at all. And then once you get a little bit of gear, rogues just take off. But then once you're, you know, deep in level 60 content, warriors are going to mop the floor with anybody. But I actually think that the rogue tank, while we're on the subject of tanking, is shockingly in the warrior's position right now at level 25. Because when we were theory crafting before even getting to into the game, people were saying like, oh, like we've got this avoidance tank, like we can, you know, we saw the base runes that were going to be for tanking. Of course, we will probably end up getting a new rune for tanking. I don't know what it'll be. But we were saying like, yeah, like a lot of it is based on avoidance. Like you just don't get hit in the first place. It's not really about the mitigation of the hits. But when we look at it in practice, like you just don't have the agility, the dodge, the parry chance to really capitalize on what your style of tanking is supposed to showcase. So I'm looking forward to getting more of those stats. I'm sure it'll start with agility stacking. But you know, any rogue main like myself will know, like once you start getting your tier gear out of Molten Core, out of BWL and so on, you start seeing a lot of those bonuses just in like a flat dodge percent chance. So I'm really excited to see those gear upgrades that enable rogues more and more as we keep going.
I also think I can't see rogues I can't see them not adjusting the combo point system in some way for rogue tanks. Like for single target DPS rogues, I don't think you need that, but for tanking, I think you do. Yeah. And I just know they're going to add something. It just feels like some type of rune is going to get, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it just like, I'd be so surprised if that didn't come. And with that, I think it'll be much easier to tank as a rogue, but they're definitely at like tied with warrior, I think right now in the bottom.
So we did have,
phase,
for next phase, we did have the little sneak peek, the little teaser of the picture showing the rogue belt and the belt rune, and it was shuriken toss. I feel like that could be like a cone type of deal where it's like, you're, kind of like a cleave. That could be it. But since we're on
I thought it would be like an ice lance equivalent, where it would be like something that you can like be throwing out pretty regularly for like
it could be
10 energy or something.
like a
yeah, I don't know.
Sinister Strike type thing.
Yeah, I just feel like it's gonna have something to do with it, maybe. But since we are on this, let's jump to since we did start talking about the rogue. Do you want to jump? Should we read the comment of the week here? Because it kind of talks about it.
I felt like
we didn't answer his question.
Okay, cool.
Like
we got
so we talked about.
Yeah, I was gonna just do the thing, and then we were gonna answer his question, but we could do either way.
I think it sounds like we're at least very excited about Rogue for tanking, for single target tanking.
For next phase though, or for later phase?
I think next phase is going to come up a lot on the charts. Like I think that they are really held back right now by gear. Every rogue I've talked to who's tried to tank has been saying that. I don't know. Like I've tanked with Simonized, and like my problem when he's trying to tank a boss is like I literally just take my hands off the keyboard, or else I will peel threat. Like it's not fair.
That happened to me in Wrath with Warrior in Ulduar. They're like, Bob, stop taunting. I'm like, dude, I just did like a heroic strike along with my shield bash or whatever, because you're always doing two moves at once. You're always heroic striking. So I'd have to stop when they would taunt off. I'd have to stop 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I could go back into it, or else I would rip it right back.
Yeah.
All right. DPS predictions.
But yeah,
only.
DPS. I think we're going to see casters start popping off a little bit more. I think that mages and warlocks are going to be pretty even. I think that the issues we've seen with shadow priests, I think that they're going to like get middle of the pack. I think that elemental shamans are probably going to be overlooked.
I think LA shamans are going to be huge.
I think they're going to be huge in
PvP at least. Yeah, PvP they're going to be huge.
They're going to have insane burst damage, but I think that like when you look at like a long-term fight, like I don't know if shamanistic rage is going to be the thing that can like help them sustain through Mechanier Dermaplug.
I mean, how long term is long term? I mean, the longest fight we currently have right now is what, Akumai maybe? Like I bet
like a minute and a half.
I bet you can have with a sham rage enough sustain.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe for Prague it's not the way to go, but that's the first.
I just think casters are going to also have bigger mana pools and stuff too. I mean,
yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I just see shaman as having like, I think that they're the worst choice for a speed run because they have to plant their feet for like at least 2 seconds to do any form of real damage. Their only AoE is with chain lightning. That's got a cooldown. It's 8 seconds, I think. Unless they're planting a totem. Or I haven't actually looked to see if chain lightning interacts with overload. That could be cool. But yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think it'll be much better. I think that they're more going to be showcased in PvP than PvE. I think it's the same thing for Shadow Priests. I think that both of those are going to be the complete rulers of the PvP scene.
Yeah.
And that'll be really fun. I do think that like they're not going to like beat out a mage. Like I think that mage is only going to be getting stronger.
I mean, mage in PvP is always S tier. Like
no, I'm talking about PvE.
PvE.
Yeah, I think mages are going to do very, very well in Nomer.
Well, you also have to think about rogues in Nomer and the amount of bosses that might be immune to poison. Like, and we see how bad rogues kind of suck on the first boss in BFD because of that. Like, that could be a big factor.
I've got a fun
rogues
feeling that
falling.
a rune they're going to get is going to be you were able to apply bleeds and poisons to
A
targets that would
whole
otherwise be
rune,
immune.
dude.
Or
Oh,
it
that would feel
changes
terrible.
it changes
That
your
feels
bleeds and poisons into electricity like poison. Like so
Oh.
basically an electricity thing that keeps shocking them,
Yeah, like
for a certain amount of time. That could
just
be a
kept doing
thing.
nature damage or something.
I feel like that's way outside the box thinking.
Yeah,
right
well,
there.
that would be so content specific.
Yeah,
It'd
right.
be- it would become
I'm a rogue
so
maid. I'm a
useless.
rogue maid.
I wouldn't be surprised if they just let you apply
Yeah.
bleeds and whatever. Like it's like okay,
Um,
you're leaking oil now instead of bleeding. You know what I mean? It's like okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair
No,
enough.
that's fair. But I mean, for physical
see.
DPS, like I kind of expect the exact same thing that we would normally expect in a vanilla server at 60. Like I think that like druids and rogues are going to be really good at the start of the phase, and as we get more gear for physical DPS, warriors are going to overtake them. Like I have trouble seeing a world where that doesn't happen.
Yeah, hunters are gonna fall off. Pets are gonna be less effective.
Yeah, pets are going to be way less effective, and they've
as
gotten
we
way too
level
many
up.
nerfs.
It's
I think
just
that they're
like the
going to be
way
middle
that
of the pack, and they're going to
pets
stay there
scale.
until they give them a little bit of a boost at level 60.
Well, don't forget though, they did change it in SOD, so the pets scale differently than they used to. Like you could take potions, you could take I think the health always scaled maybe, but every time I take a Rumsey rum, I watch my cat's health go up. Like every time, but the only thing that seems to scale though, when I'm drinking potions and taking buffs and stuff, it seems to be the attack power. So I don't know if anything else will scale past that. So but like it might be the BM's still good, still the best, but I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I will say also, like, I do think the one class on DPS that we haven't even touched on is Paladin. I do think that Paladin is going to get better.
Dude, I was
Boo.
running
I
that
think I think
Ashenvale.
Paladins are very dependent on having access to talent points.
Paladins absolutely fuck in Ashenvale right now. Like a red
Right.
paladin can 3-shot you in like a global.
Yeah, they
It's
do
like,
massive burst
Nobody
damage.
wants to hear paladins are going to get better. Let's be honest. Like,
yeah.
no horde.
I
wants
mean,
to hear
I don't
paladins
think
are
that they're
get
going.
better.
I don't think that they're going to get anything like that insanely buffs them. I think that it's going to be like middle of the pack boosts, like in terms of how much they're getting stronger in their relative power level. But I do think just by virtue of being level 40 and having 15 more talent points, I think they get a lot stronger.
Yeah, I agree. Like
Because like even for prot, like that opens up consecrate and like however many extra talent points you have at level 40. I forget after
prop
level
paladins are
40 that is.
currently busted.
31, right?
Yeah.
You get 31 talent
31
points.
total, so you'll still have 20 left over. Like if you are taking consecrate, and not everybody's going to feel the need to. Like you're going to have Sankora for the first time.
I was trying to think about at 60.
Like paladin stacking, I think, is going to be a thing for Alliance.
What do prop paladins bring to the table at 60 that invalidates mechanics that we used to use, right? Because bubble taunt is such a huge mechanic, like nullifier. So it's like, are there any fights where it's just going to be like overwhelmingly good to have a prop paladin over anything else? I don't know. Maybe not.
Do you think
it's pretty easy?
Think bubble's going to come to more than one class or a type of bubble?
I wonder if
No.
bubble taunt will override the BWL fire mechanics. I forget what the actual
Shadow Flame, whatever it is. Yeah, Flame Buffet.
Flame of Shadow.
Flame Buffet.
Flame Buffet. Okay, gotcha.
The Flame Buffet.
Yeah, I know that would be a potential big win for them, but that's way at 60.
Even still, it's just like that stuff's so easy. So it's like, who cares?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's more just like laziness because you have it. But I don't think there's anything like too huge. But I did want to say, like, I don't know if other people have thoughts on DPS. But the guy brought up that they have a priest right now, and I wanted to touch on healers as well. I know Joardee at least enjoys healers.
But you went past boomkins. Think boomkins are going to come? Are the chickens going to come? Yeah. Are they going to come alive?
Boomkins are really hindered by hit cap. They are going to get a lot of crit and hopefully some extra AoE in the form of, maybe Typhoon Rune. next phase. That'd be really fun to have in AB. I'm not gonna lie.
But I mean, hit is less
at level 1
impactful
with
right
Star
now.
Surge, though.
It is less impactful right now.
Because bosses are +2, so you only need 5%. So it's like it's not hard to get that
Sure.
with oils and all that
That's
stuff.
fair.
So
That's
I don't know. I think in Season of Discovery, they're gonna balance everything. So it's like I don't think it's gonna be like it was in vanilla, where it's like something is way better than another thing. I think everything's gonna kind of be within 10% of each other, and
Yeah.
just play whatever's fun. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that I think is the core of it. Like there will be Flavor of the Month Andes like Sarth who chase whatever is number one, but like don't I don't know. I don't like doing that. I like having fun with the things that I enjoy.
Yeah, same.
I'm the same. I learned my lesson in TBC when I went lock, and I would have had so much more fun if I just would have stayed warrior the entire time. But instead, I hit one button for an entire expansion.
Yeah.
Oh well.
You drank the Crix Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I drank the everyone Kool-Aid. I thought it was a meme that they're like, well, if you like hitting Shadow Bolt, and yes, to get the 99s, we had to do a few little different things, but either way, it was just basically Shadow Bolt, especially at the end. All right, healers.
All right,
you were saying.
Yeah, for healers, I mean, so Joardee has been playing a priest, and I know he's going to keep playing a priest. It's been busted. It got a little bit of a nerf. I think it's 20% of your total healing
They're
from
still
penance and
fine.
From any rune ability, so everything else still scales the
Penance,
same.
Palm, and Circle of Healing, but
still looks fine. Yeah, sorry, Mel, you play a healer too.
Yeah, she's playing druid and priest, and you're playing druid. Joardee's playing priest.
Yeah. I'm playing druid and shaman now. I rolled a shaman, and I intend to switch my main to a shaman because I think that shaman for horde, if not overall, is going to be the best healer in phase 2.
Okay.
Really?
For the very simple fact that your first rune you ever get overload gives you a 50% crit chance, basically, that comes with a brand new cast of it, of chain heal. And having 50% of the time you cast 2 chain heals sounds pretty busted to me. I'm sure it'll get nerfed within the first couple of weeks, but we'll see. But right now I'm so excited to at least see it on that first raid lockout. Other than that, I think like priests are going to continue to be incredibly strong. They're always going to be your core healer. I think that druids have been performing really well, allowing them to have swift mend, allowing them to have nature swiftness is going to be really helpful. I think that the Restokin has been a really fun experiment at the end of phase 1, where you're basically looking at a Boomy who has wild growth. I'm hoping that we continue to experiment with that and kind of get the best of both worlds in that regard. But sorry, Joardee, I want to hear your take.
No, I think priest is kind of in a weird spot right now because you have to take homunculus when you're really min-maxing because you don't
or a shadow priest, which you don't want to take.
Priest, which you don't want to take.
But you're not taking a shadow priest if you're min-maxing.
So you're not getting prayer mending.
Keep holding on to hope, shadow priest.
You kind of just use renew and penance primarily, and so I mean penance is amazing, but it's on a 8-second cooldown, and palm is incredible, but you can't take it. So it's like I think in a raid environment, priest is going to be really busted because palm now bounces off heals and damage, which in wrath it doesn't. Just damage. And so we'll see where priest ends up. Right now, I think that the Resto Druid's probably your best healer.
After the nerf?
Like right now?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
But if you can use palm, then the priest is the best healer. So
for sure.
But I mean it's level 25 content. Like anything is fine. Like play whatever you want.
Did they say if they said Nobergon is gonna be 10-man?
Yeah. Or have they?
I don't know if they've said it, but everyone thinks it, and I agree.
I feel like it should be 15 man. It's big enough.
Rumor mill has said that it will be 10 man.
It's like accepted.
That's what everybody's said. Yeah. I feel like Nobergon's big enough to do 15, and 15 would feel good.
Surprise.
Yeah, 15 would feel good.
I would be happy with 20, to be honest.
I just think it'll change, right? Like, because priests, you could probably have 2 if you went up in raid size, and then
for sure
one could have palm.
It's such a big dungeon, like
it is.
I feel like they could do so much with it.
Yeah,
that would require 20 people. Like
it's
you could have
really
like
fun.
it could feel like you're in Sunwell, just with massive like mechanical guardians that were really going to demolish a 20-man raid team.
There's big rooms. It's so big. Like I just feel like it's, and I just remember back in vanilla, Ubers was originally, we all ran it with 15 people. Like in the beginning, like it was a fifth. Like if you watch Leroy Jenkins' video, there's 15 people there. Like, and I always felt like that. It felt good. I don't know. I haven't done a 15-man raid in since. I don't think so. I'd love to see it. A
lot of people are really against anything being over 10 right now. Like everyone's like, I love these 10-man raids. Let's do this for everything. Drop Molten Core to 10. Drop Nax to 10. And I think that like they've said that they're not going to do that for the end game raids at least. So just get ready for 40 mans. That's their plan. But I think that like doing anything that's not a 10-man or 20-man or 40-man is wrong, in my opinion. Like you don't want to have to split up groups. You know what I mean? So it's like two 10-mans equals a 20-man, two 20-mans equals a 40-man. Like 25-man means you have some random 5 people that
I've hated 25-man forever.
Or whatever, right? So it's like it just be multiples of different raid sizes. Don't be some odd number at least.
That makes sense. Yeah, because if we went up to, although I will say, as we move forward and more people are using different alts, I mean, your raid sizes, you would probably just get 5 people. Like what if we went to 15-man raids, then one of the 10-man raids would just stop going, and those 5 would go to 2 different raids. So I think it might work out.
Honestly, I think you keep it at 10-man this phase, and then I think potentially next phase you increase it to 20-man or something. But I feel like right now the accessibility for everybody to play is so high, and everybody can typically find a pug or a group of friends to get a 10-man going, and BFD's difficulty isn't that hard, and they can level alts if they want to right now. Like that is going to be less and less doable the further you go along, right? Like even though it'll be faster to level, still leveling an alt from 1 to 50 for somebody that doesn't have a ton of time to play is going to be less realistic rather than leveling them from 1 to 25. So I think 10-man still makes it more accessible for more people to get more people engaged. But
how do you feel about this? Is a big ask. The Collector 313 in chat says he'd love to see if they go higher than 10, he'd love to see flex raids like they have in retail.
There's zero.
But I don't think that's too big of an ask.
I think it would be fun to offer like 10 versus 20 options with like, different gearing.
I say the same gear if they're going to do that.
That's really fun.
What if you do the same gear, but
more drops?
Get more in a 20-man, right? Like I think that's the only way it's going to work.
The Kata route,
yeah, sure.
Is if you just get.
I'd be cool with that.
For 20-mans, so people that want to do 20-mans can, but people that
you just have so much more of a way to min max and really push the bar in a 20-man, so people would be enticed to do it.
That.
I don't either.
Yeah,
but
I don't see it happening. I think
we're talking pie in the
really
sky.
Fun.
Yeah. Okay, well here, one last caveat to this thing though. So watch the Sarth video. That's like runes you'd like to see that are quality of life. If you are choosing mage, just know that you're getting a brand new water, right at level 40, which means you make 2 at a time. So factor that in if you're going to have to make 2 at a time.
I sent a DM, was like, you guys need to fix this because it's going to suck.
It's going to suck for mages, dude.
And my response was,
water's
don't worry about it.
So expensive.
We'll see.
Okay, I like it. Don't worry about it.
Like
don't worry about it. Sounds like things are happening.
It could just be shut up, nerd, or it could. You could take it in any different way. But it was like at level 25 with the current gear levels we have, like the level 15 water sucks.
It sucks. Yeah, it's horrible.
Even the level 25 water sucks.
It's pretty bad. Yep.
So I'm hoping that we get some solution. I mean, I could see like irradiated, Nomergan water and just like juices your mana.
That would be really fun. I mean, it'd be very, very fun for me if similar to the quest to get like level 60 mage water or 55 mage water, whatever it is, the good water. Like in the dungeon or in the raid, you found an item like that. Similar to how mages find the turtle polymorph
Or
from ZF.
it could be a drop off of the poison elemental that drops hydrocane. You know what I mean? Like that's a water
totally.
elemental. Boom, done.
And it's pretty early.
Yep.
In the dungeon. It's like
it's like
second boss.
Yeah. Dude, are we gonna have to do that stupid
Grubus boss?
Timed like tunnel
thing
with the trogs?
I hate that boss.
Yeah.
Look,
Dude.
Nomergan is my favorite dungeon. I know that's like the least popular take, but it's my favorite classic
No, it's fantastic.
dungeon.
It's a neat dungeon. It was always my least favorite to run people.
I skip Grubus every time. People like who
don't know it.
Nomergan will like open up Atlas Loot and they'll link the blue that can drop, and then it's like, dude, but it can drop. We have to go do it. And it's like, I guarantee you survey 1,000 people, one of them says that they've seen it drop, and they're lying. Like it doesn't drop.
Skips are going to be huge.
It just drops a random green, so you should absolutely skip that boss.
Have you ever seen that clip of the, like 3 hardcore people dying to the cave in? It's fantastic.
I did get those.
That was my
I did get the blue ones though.
Death that ever happened in a dungeon with me.
No way.
Because I was telling them like, yeah, make sure you're not like inside the cave, like you'll get stuck. And then like somebody just like walked up to it.
That's so
good.
And it crushed him. Yep.
It's one way to go.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do, since we did start talking about the rogue stuff right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and do the comment of the week. Mel, do you want to read it?
Sure. Hold on.
All right, make sure to say the name when you read it.
Well, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if I want to read it.
Yeah, it's the second one, the one that I replied to.
The second one? Wait. Does it start with "Hey Bob"?
No, it's the next one.
I have a different rogue tank.
Yeah.
All right. Making this hard for me. I don't know why you put them in.
Yeah, there's like 3 comments.
Right? Like, what am I supposed to be doing here?
Just
all right.
Read it out.
Major Bones 251 says, I have a different rogue tank solution. A rune that makes riposte trigger automatically on a parry. Problem solved, flavor maintained.
Then I replied.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Why don't you just read it if you want this done in such a nice way?
Okay, here, I'll do the reply that I replied, but it would only hit one target, right?
Part, and then Mel reads.
Right? We should have practiced this. We're failing.
We'll switch out every other word.
All right, Major Bones 251 replies, yes, but you can parry multiple enemies at once. Sort of like blocking does damage mechanic for prop pallies. This is just parries do damage. 3 mobs attacking you. You've got a good chance of whacking them each attack they throw at you. It's something, at least, not saying it's perfect, but it's kind of beats just adding Fan of Knives, you know? That's such a retail solution.
Yeah, I didn't even think about the fact that it'd be hitting other people. I was like, why make it automatic? I'd rather hit it, but it's hitting the people you're not targeting. So I was like, oh, okay, that does make sense.
That kind of feels like rogues get a retail.
Exactly.
I think that's a really fun idea.
Sounds OP though, doesn't it?
I feel it sounds kind of OP. The disarm effect, maybe like the disarm effect only affects your primary target that you are actively playing.
Yes, the disarm effect would be huge too. I didn't even think about that.
I feel like what's their name? Sorry. Major Bones 251 is really leaving out my favorite rogue spec, Subtlety. What about Ghostly Strike, man? Boosting your dodge chance by 15% for 7 seconds. I think that having some kind of like automatic trigger for Ghostly Strike so that it's not just a 20-second cooldown for only 15% dodge for 7 seconds would be super fun.
What scares me,
more in tune with rogues being an avoidance tank.
Well, what scares me about this is I think back to Wrath, the 4th iteration of the dungeons, the heroic dungeons. What was it? Beta,
Gamma.
So in Gamma, tanks would get this like thorns buff, right?
Yeah.
And it just basically trivialized tanking. I mean, like it made it so they couldn't.
As long as you taunted one time, you were done.
Yeah. And so it's just like, I don't know that I want it to be that easy. There was also an email coming from Atol Ufushan, ATOLUF SON. But he had an idea that, like, what if you just had a rune that would make it so when you dodged or parried, you would that would like give threat to the mobs, like they're getting mad because you're evading every strike type of deal.
Like I can't touch this.
But that all seems just
MC Hammer situation.
It all seems too easy to do that, right? Like that's my problem with it.
You're trying to make rogues AoE tanks, and I don't think that's what they were intended to be. I think you have to accept the fact that rogues are going to be single target tanks, and we're going to get different like dungeons that's going to be feasible, or different bosses. And I think if you think that potentially they bring in dual spec, you could potentially go back and forth between rogue tank and rogue DPS for different bosses.
God, dual spec would be such a blessing.
And to Mel's point, they've said that they don't want everybody to be able to do everything. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I think that is fun, and it's okay that people specialize, or roll a paladin if you want an AoE tank.
Yeah, I think they have to. I think rogues don't become viable tanks though until they allow a dual spec, if they allow a dual spec, right? Because I don't think it's viable to have a rogue tank spec in there just for the two bosses.
Yeah, I totally
maybe
agree.
You can single target.
Yeah, because like one of the craziest things that I find really fun about rogues is that they get so many like flat stats out of talent points in their first couple of tiers. Like in assassination, you can get 5% crit right off the bat. In combat, you can get 5% dodge, then 5% hit, tier 1, tier 2 right off the bat. And when you look at these things, it's like, okay, like I kind of feel like I have to take dodge if I'm going to tank, but then I'm giving up 5 of my 31 talents, and now it's even worse, because you're only getting 16 5 of my 16 talent points. Like that's crazy,
Right?
So yeah, like it's a really big decision, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Mel. Like dual spec would solve a lot of issues for them. I think that right now in phase 1 we're running into the issue like a rogue tank can be a really good single target tank, but like if you have a shaman, why are you not just like one tanking with a shaman?
Why are you bringing in a rogue?
So like I would almost say like nerf shaman tanks, because right now, or at least like make the content like more unique to a fighting style that can actually beat it, like more of a rock paper scissors thing. Because right now there is a tank that can do everything. And it's the blue class that's still a pink class.
You can get an add-on that will.
Yeah, you can.
It's fantastic.
I know, but I'm lazy.
Shamans are blue.
I really need that add-on.
It is, yeah. I don't know. I think
mages are blue. How can shamans be blue too?
Shamans are bluer.
Oh, a blue. Got it.
I think they are going to make rogues better at AoE taking, but I think you're right. I don't think they want them to be. I don't think they want everything to be the best at everything. So
and that's fun. Making choices is fun.
I think it is. Yeah, I do too.
Is fun.
Except when it's the choice between palm and homunculi. I don't like that choice. I wish that wasn't a choice.
If homunculi,
it's not really a choice, is it?
Shit. Like homunculi, like the AI on homunculi is awful. And if they weren't so dumb, then it wouldn't feel so bad. But Jesus,
true. If they weren't just like little harvest reaper golems.
If they're out, you have to run over a mob if you want them to attack. But if they're out and there's a random mob 20 feet away, they're going to run to it. Because
straight there. Yeah.
Yep. And then like on bosses like Lord Jet, it's like, why am I even using homunculi? They're like not even on the right targets.
They have a mind of their own.
Yeah. But all right, well, I do have one more voicemail if you guys want to listen to that.
Hello, Mel and Blazing Bob and whoever else you've got on the podcast. Love the podcast, I think it's great. Listen to it at work, it's pretty good. Anyway, my question is recently I've seen a resurgence about people moaning about the Metamorphosis Warlock. And people are asking whether it should have a cast time, because I play a Warlock, and if I'm running through Ashenvale and I get jumped by a certain alliance, then if I just pop into meta, I instantly, because of the certain items I've got, gives me a 50% physical damage reduction, which makes me so tanky, then it's just drain life and spam fear and pain and everything, and no one can kill you. Do you think that we should put a cast time on Metamorphosis? Because I don't. Let me know what you think. Caesar, have fun. Bye-bye.
That's a good
Well,
question.
no Warlock is going to say yes to that, but
I don't know
I
enough
say
about the
no.
Warlock. I don't know enough
No.
about it to answer.
Yeah, I also say no.
You're making a choice to take the meta rune over something else, and
Fair.
it should feel powerful. And having that oh shit button, I'm going meta, feels good. And like other classes
You're
getting
giving up your ability to fear.
yeah,
crying out
exactly.
loud, you know, like-
and whatever other runes that rune slot is doing. And like I think that we should all feel powerful. And if you're running in and you know you get ganked and you can't hit your button that you chose, it just feels bad. And so
Yeah.
like I'm totally for meta being powerful. And I'm for like class fantasy and being able to hit your buttons. Like, you know, not being able to Hulk out when it sucks, right? And
Yeah.
so it's
Right.
like just I don't know. Your damage goes
Yeah.
way down when you do it,
Okay,
right? So it's
let
like,
me ask a question then. So, okay, I haven't PvP'd them enough. Like, I haven't really had a problem with Warlocks, to be honest, on like the rogue that I play. I haven't really had too much of a problem, but I've always been playing in a group when I'm PvPing or like I'm like they attack me when I'm like already attacking a mob or something. Like I've not really had enough experience, but from what I've heard from a lot of people is there's moves that the meta Warlock that can do that are unkickable, like channels like that are unkickable. Like is it the suck life?
Yeah, the drain
thing?
life.
Yeah, I
that's,
guess
that's really been my only.
that might be
complaint
something
when
you
I,
change
when I do fight warlocks, because I haven't been able to tell if it's just like it can't be interrupted.
I don't think
or
it
if
can
it's,
be.
like,
That's what I've
some weird
heard.
Visual bug. It feels weird now that I'm playing shaman, because I was playing druid and just like ranging everybody, casting free sunfire and cat form. And the occasional
Druid
archers.
feels really OP with
Yeah,
the
it's very unfair.
but cat.
But now that I'm on a
shock.
class with a kick, it feels really weird. Like I still think it's a fair matchup overall. Like I don't think that like Warlock just like kicks my butt, and I don't think that I just like stomp on Warlocks. Granted, I'm not the most geared on my shaman, but I do find it like really weird when I'm like, oh, like I see a channeled ability, I'm going to use Earth Shock, and then it does nothing.
It feels like it's a
That's-
bug, right?
That's weird.
Yeah, like that's the thing I feel like should be changed. But I didn't know
If
enough about
anything,
it. I've just heard about
like
it.
at the end of the day, like I don't feel like drain life not being interruptible makes them so
much more
incredibly
OP.
powerful.
Yeah.
That it's unfair. But I do find it weird from the class fantasy perspective that Joardee brought up, that my interruptibility has zero effect on drain life of all things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should keep it in as instant cast. I think it makes sense. I think they lose a lot when they go into meta. That would help them in PvP, right? They just become harder to kill.
What do
Yeah.
they lose when they go into meta? Educate me here. I don't know.
So you can't fear.
Yeah.
You're
They were saying in
That's
chat
big.
that their Shadow Bolt isn't as powerful.
Range.
Hold on. What at a time?
Go ahead, Mel.
No, I was just saying they were saying in chat that their Shadow Bolt isn't as powerful and they can't do it from as far away.
That's what, okay.
And it has a 6-second cooldown, but it does hit 3. It's a melee attack. So
Yeah, it's like your
It's-
cleave ability.
yeah.
But again, like it's no longer a massive shadow bolt to to somebody's face. It's a volley of lesser shadow bolts.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for the voicemails. Remember that number is 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. All right. I don't want to take too much time, but You guys got any? We've been playing nonstop SOD, so we can't tell everything we've been doing. But you guys have any highlights of the week or anything? Want to do stories? Story time?
We've been very busy with building a resource for pre-questing, and so that's kind of all we've been focusing on the last week.
Yeah,
so we'll be talking about
game,
that.
I wouldn't say that I've got like any like massive highlights. I mean, Joardee and I just got a brand new fresh hunter, the epic crossbow, yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
First BFD. Congrats on the crossbow.
First BFD. They got the crossbow.
Look at that.
I got the crossbow now too.
It was so funny seeing,
friends.
They linked in our guild Discord afterwards all of their like green and gray parses that they got because of just how fresh they were, and then the crossbow now equipped.
That's the way
it was really funny.
We can give her a shout out. That's baptized, and she's so nice. She won the crossbow and the trinket, and she gave the trinket to the next highest roll instead of keeping both. We tried to talk her into keeping both, but luckily, I was the next highest roller, and she gave it to me, and I was like, gosh, I love you, Bep. I love you so much.
Bobby's like, I didn't try to talk her into it that hard because it was me that was getting it.
And I definitely didn't say no.
But she was like, I won't take no for an answer, so I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take it.
I'm not going to argue, you know.
She's going to appreciate the shout out very much.
Oh,
Yep. She's awesome. I've gotten to raid with her a bunch and having a great time, and you just can't beat Australian accents. They're just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah, anything else? Any other highlights?
Ashenvale continues to be fun. I think that the changes they've made, since now I have a new 25, I've been trying to...
How many do you have now?
Just the 2, but I've never done alts before. So this is a big deal for me. I'm doubling my playtime.
I have trouble calling mine alts at this point. Like
that's because you
4.
are such that's because you're such an alt person that you just play your characters like.
Well, I get them all in the chance.
I have never once like rated on more than one character at a time. Never.
You kind of have to right now with these phases being so
long. Well, in next phase, like I'm trying to go for 3 or 4.
I have 3, and then I'm getting boosted literally as we speak on the 4th.
Nice. We like it. Do you want to pay for my boosts?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
I mean, you could always trade. You could always trade gold from Wrath.
If you leveled a druid with Star Surge at level 1,
Wrath.
because that's pretty epic.
I don't play that game.
I need to do it because I have so much gold just sitting there doing nothing.
I traded a bunch of Wrath gold. And
but yeah, I think that
I'm going to do it.
I think that the Ashenvale changes have been really fun. Because the laziness that at least Horde has on like actually clearing the west base, I forget which base it's called. It results in like, you still have like 20 to 40 people who just like immediately go to the Moonwell and just like wait there, like win or lose, they don't care. They're just gonna sit AFK. But now we get to like, we're waiting on west for anywhere up to like 20 minutes. So we end up just like having like the other 40 to 80 people who aren't going to go sit at Moonwell like idiots go defend like the catapult base. And then you get a lot of really fun, massive open world PvP, like guaranteed every 2 hours. And I feel like, it's spawned from Horde being like really selfish, lazy dicks. But like, I'm into it. I really think that it's like a fun accidental outcome.
Doesn't it decrease the motivation to go west though? Because you can go.
Oh yeah, because I'm having way more fun.
There's way more fun to go east, and then you get to get world PvP and you get to get honor and stuff like that. If you go west, I mean, you're stuck. West.
And also, there's a horror story with West, and everybody joins a 40-man group, and you can really no. It's worse, dude. It's worse.
Oh.
If Blizzard doesn't make a change, then I'm never going west, and that's because it could happen to you even if you're in an east group. If one person goes west, there is a NPC that can give you a dishonorable kill, and that needs to change, dude. Like That happened to our friend
on your way out of Stormstrand.
Yeah, that happened to our friend Track Zoot, and he lost an entire. He went back to level 2. Not a huge deal right now, but will be a huge deal in the future when we're like much higher.
During PvP events, I think that they need to turn off the DKs from killing citizens.
Or just have it. You have to hit them.
Or just make them. Or make it so you have to hit them yourself. That would work too. But yeah, it's happened to a lot of people I know who are just like in a group taking a flight path, and they just boom anywhere in the zone.
That blows.
It blows, dude.
While they're on a flight path.
So hopefully Blizzard can fix that, because that is just not cool.
Yeah. Ooh, Joardee, you're making me want to go get a beer.
I got a Diet Pepsi and some chili lemon cashews.
That's not a beer. I still want a beer.
I kind of
whatever is in that can, it looks refreshing. You look refreshed.
It's 5 o'clock Eastern. I'm only Central.
There you go. Yeah, I really like the Ashenvale changes. I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's making me more and more excited for the STV PvP event.
Ooh.
I don't know what it is.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it soon. We're going to talk about it soon.
Hold off then?
Hold off. Yeah. We'll talk about it here in the news, because I think that's going to be really cool.
Gotcha.
I do have a little story.
Please.
Okay, so I did learn a valuable lesson this last week. Okay, so I have some friends that have come back that I used to play with 20 years ago, like I guess not exactly 20 years ago, but they've been friends for 20 years. We used to play, back in 04, 05. There's like 5 of them. I've been running with them on one of my tunes, and we've been pugging everything, right? Well, the group that we found this last week, you really can't take like 5 fresh 25s without pre-bis in, especially if 2 of them are your healers. They'll be out of mana like halfway through the fight.
BFD from hell, Bob.
It was the BFD from hell. It was okay. Did you know that Gamora can cast a 4th shield? Because I didn't, but it can happen.
I thought it was just I thought it was just timed.
It is, but okay. I didn't. I just thought like 2 would be the max. But yeah, the 4th shield spawned right as he died, and I was like, I've never seen that. Oh, this is gonna be rough. We got knocked off.
Crazy long fight.
Wait.
So the first shield, a new shield popped, we popped it. A 3rd shield popped, we popped it. And then the 4th shield, like he spawned it on him right before he died.
I've only seen the 2 ever, and it was week 1.
Yeah, that's all I've. And we on most of my runs, I rarely see 2 now. But
yeah,
like it. I mean, I should have known stuff was going to go bad when we're on the. I made the joke that Sarth makes. All right, if anybody knocks us off the platform on the first boss, you're loot banned. Well, like everybody knocks us off constantly. Oh my God. Like, I mean, it was unbelievable. I was like,
wow.
I finally got to kill the boss solo while everybody was in the water, because that way they couldn't knock me off.
Here's the thing, though. Like, this sounds like it wasn't just loot, or it wasn't just gear. It was also knowledge
too.
Gameplay,
yep.
Right?
Yep.
Like,
and so so we kept losing people, and then the time it takes to talk somebody into coming in, somebody worth a shit to come into the dungeon is a real pain. Then we had a thing where we had 2 different people say that they could come, and then they were our retail players, so they thought since they'd made it to that boss, boss 6 Kelrix, they thought that they could just come into our raid lockout because it was like retail, boss by boss. So we just wait for them to come there because we didn't have a lock, and then boom, like they can't get in. We have to find more people. It was horrible, but we did persevere. We had some people in guild come in that knew what they were doing, and we did finally beat it. Yeah, we finally beat it. 4.5 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an afternoon.
Way to stick with it.
Oh, so yeah, so.
Was it worth it?
This time I took control of the group, and we did it last night, and I was like, hey,
Mel came,
Ale.
so you guys were going to be
Yep,
fine.
yep. Mel came, and then Denakina came with her priest, and then I talked Ale and Track Zoot from Onslaught into coming on some of their fresh tunes, and they kicked butt, even though they were fresh. So, yeah, my whole point is it was probably the knowledge thing, but and like I'm
It was knowledge
guessing
paired with gear, right?
paired
Like
with
you
gear,
can
yeah.
get away with lack of knowledge if you've got good gear.
But
Honestly,
it was
don't have
hell.
either.
That sounds really fun. Like, I mean, as long as you change your perspective, it's like, okay, we're teaching a bunch of people how to do it. We get to like
Yeah.
see the silly things that they do. Like, you just got to know that you're just gonna beat your head
It was
against it for a
probably
while.
fun.
I
for the
also
first
was
couple
a
hours.
bad.
Sure.
I didn't explain two of the people had never done it. I didn't explain the fights well. Like, yeah. So
basically, it was your fault.
Sounds like
I
it
guess
was
so.
Bob's fault.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's what
didn't
I'm
build
saying.
the
I think it
group
was Bob's
though.
fault.
Max built the group, so.
Still blame Bob.
Oh man, it was rough, but yeah, we did make it through it. Perseverance. I remember at one point I'm like, okay, hold on. I went and bought consumes for everybody, shadow pots for everybody, like lips and extra stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna pop the shadow pot, and we're gonna wait. Then we're gonna be able to pop the lip during phase 2. There was only 2 people standing when he dropped. Like it just was like so bad.
Kelris is tough.
I heard you from the couch on that boss, and I was like, do your casters know where to stand? Because I feel like they're not stacking up. And Bob's like, yeah, I think so. And he's never played caster, so I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that they knew where to stand.
I had so much going on. I couldn't.
It is kind of fun though, like getting to the point where you've cleared it enough and you've gotten enough gear to where you almost regress on like respecting and understanding mechanics. Like Kelris, as like when I'm on my my restokin, like I don't even pay attention to where I'm standing. Like if I see purple around me, I move out of the purple, and that's about it.
It's like my ice.
Nobody else exists. Just like you just end up getting enough DPS to where nothing really matters.
But it was, I mean, all in all, it was a good learning experience. Yeah. Yep. So, I mean, you can't have bad ones. I don't think I'd ever had one that was longer than 40 minutes prior. Like, so, like, even the ones I'd run 2 lockouts with them prior to that, and the pugs we got just were luck. Like, we're completely fine. So, you know, like, it wasn't a big deal, but I think the fact that we had people that had never done it before, I'm sure people didn't have Foji or even Deadly Boss Mods. Like there was a lot. I did teach my buddy to get threat plates so that he could see the casts much easier on, to kick chains. So it was a good learning thing there too. But it was crazy.
Hey Bob, is it okay if I step away for just 1 minute and mess up all of these beautiful cameras?
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Oh no!
Okay. I will be.
Oh no!
Sorry everyone for ruining the cameras.
This actually, if everybody else is done, this actually works out perfect because the next part of the news only will have nothing to say about, but Joardee will.
Perfect.
So let's move on to
time for the news.
All right. First off, in the news, Ruby Sanctum is live. Mel and I killed it on normal, but did do about an hour and a half or hour and 45 in Prague on hard mode. So, but Joardee dropped it on heroic. Is it called heroic? Yeah, it's called heroic. So, do you want to tell us about the raid? Give us a little bit of an overview.
Sure. So, I think historically, Ruby Sanctum in Wrath of the Lich King came out many months after ICC did, as a kind of a way to keep the player base satiated while they worked on Kata, because I think Kata was like a massive overhaul of a lot of stuff, so it took a long ass time, and ICC was the longest phase ever. So Ruby Sanctum was a thing. It's a 1 boss instance with 3 mini bosses that you need to kill before you can tackle the big dragon. It is honestly kind of lame and a bummer of an instance, because Arthas is such a great fight. ICC, for all its flaws, is a huge fun instance, and to finish off Wrath of the Lich King with an instance like that just kind of is weird.
Feels weird, yeah.
Bob mentioned it earlier, but we were lobbying to pull Ruby Sanctum into phase 3, which was TOGC, because it was just a 5 boss instance, and that would have been a fun extra thing to do during that phase, but it didn't end up happening. And so how the fight itself I would say is about on par with like Saffron or Fresher Preacher Side with the 0% buff. There's really only like a few mechanics that you need to like super worry about. The most important one being the cutters, the infamous cutters, which if you're going to play Kata, you should learn how cutters work now, because they're going to be a common theme in Kata. There's a lot of fights with cutters.
Oh, great.
You'll get better at them. So, but yeah, like it's like a 3-phase fight. The first phase, you fight this dragon, and then at 75%, he disappears, and you have to take a portal to the Twilight Realm, where there's a Twilight version of the boss, where you need to deal with him and the cutters, which are just like lasers that move around the room that you need to not get run over by. And then at 50%, the physical realm that you started in, the dragon reappears, and you have to fight both dragons at the same time. So some people have to take the portal back to the physical realm, and you're doing both fights at the same time. And then you have to kind of keep them within the same like DPS number-ish, because if you do more damage to one, then it starts taking less damage and doing more damage. You gotta kind of have to keep your DPS the same. That mechanic is called corporeality. Say that 10 times. And it's a fun fight. It's just a bummer of an instance, because phase 1 of Wrath has Nax, and then Malagos and Obsidian Sanctum. This is just Hallion. So it's like, okay.
Just one.
Yeah.
And the most annoying thing about the fight, can we just be real here, is that little bubble that comes up, which makes your camera not be able to be like.
Oh, if you're a caster and you're in the back,
you have to like look from above.
Yeah.
And,
So
like,
if you have like a 45-degree angle, you should be able to get your camera over the invisible wall so that you can zoom out pretty far and see the cutters better. But what you should probably do is what we did, is mark someone who you trust to be the person who moves for the cutters.
That's what we were doing,
and just follow that marker. If you're
and luckily
healer,
Foji gives me a marker on me, because that's the hard thing too, is like when you're in a big group, I'm like, am I right where I'm supposed to be? Yeah. And then I'll like move out and I'll be like, oh, nope, there I am.
Surprisingly easy to lose your character.
Yes.
I'm back. Is this Ruby Sanctum?
Yeah. We thought it was a good idea because you probably have no interest in talking about it. So perfect.
Look,
while you're
I've got
gone.
interest in it. I just have no knowledge base. But I'll spew lies.
It's a fun fight. Like I had a lot of fun with the cutters. I had fun.
Table Slam just said something that might help our raid group out. Is this true in chat? The problem is when that person gets it. Oh, the person you're following.
With the marker.
For some reason, I thought he was saying that if one person got it wrong, it chain zapped everybody. That could have explained why we were all dying instantly.
Yeah. No, ultimately, it's on your tank to set the pace of moving around the room, because the raid should just be broadside of the dragon the entire time, regardless. And so, if the tank is moving properly, then the raid knows where to move.
Is he keeping it in the middle? Like,
right.
Well, the
right
thing is, you'll get tail swiped.
Okay.
Because you'll get tail swiped if you get by the tail, and you'll get flame breathed if you go in front of him. So, like, the DPS doesn't really have many options as to where they can stand.
Okay.
So if the tank is doing a good job, the DPS just have to follow his or her lead. But I think that a lot of tanks, it takes some time to learn. Like I just watched some people just like eat cutters, and then the whole raid dies, and it's like, okay.
The first time we went down there and we were like, okay, stay away from the cutters. Every single person down there died.
It's really funny.
All right.
And if you die early and you're up top, you just see the entire raid just come out of nowhere and just die. It's hilarious looking.
I wish that when you died, you could still watch the cutters move around and kill people, but unfortunately, the second you die, your body appears in the physical realm, and so you can't see other people dying because it's hilarious, I'm sure.
No, it's not as funny as the Foji ICC hard mode Lich King thing, though. I haven't mentioned that. This is a complete tangent, but the whole Barry Bonds when somebody gets knocked out by one of the bombs. It like does
well, he just added a lightsaber sound when you get hit.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
You're just gonna hear when an entire raid just gets hit.
Sorry, yes, sorry to cut you off there, Bill.
No, I was just saying it. Like the first few times we did it, literally every single person in the raid died to the cutters at the same time. So it was just like, all right, really? Like all of us were out of place? Like that's really horrible. Like it wasn't just like one or two people.
That's why I was thinking maybe it changed or something because it was confusing me.
We got better. We got better, but yeah, it
takes a couple pulls to just kind of understand what's happening. But
yeah, that's definitely our guild too. We have to see it. We have to die to it a couple times.
Yeah,
we're like, even if
then guides
had a video,
help me afterwards. You know? The video guides help me so much after I've progged for like an hour.
Yeah, I think that if you're able to just learn from the guide and not make those mistakes, it's like ideal, right? Because you're not wasting wipes and stuff that you could avoid. But sometimes you just need to feel it in order to see it.
It feels like a fun fight, though. It does feel like a fun fight, and it was kind of neat to do the prog. Like I find myself when I get on, I'm sure a lot of people feel this when I get on for Wrath of the Lich King. I find myself just being like, I don't want to do this. But then after I'm 20 minutes in, I'm feeling good again, hanging with the guild, like, you know, and I'm not going to let them down.
Fun.
Yeah. I mean, I'm having a good time, you know, so it's just that initial logging in that's like rough.
Yeah. Getting off sod.
Yep. But I wanted to do sod. All right. Well, anything else to say about Ruby Sanctum besides it should have come earlier?
Bring on Kata.
Yeah.
I think we got a ways for that. I think it's going to be the longest pre-patch. Yeah, the beta could be soon. I think the pre-patch is going to be the longest one they've done to try to entice people to level from 1 to 60 in the new Azeroth, because that was widely overlooked when Kata came out. I mean, I never did it. I never requested. I just took my 2 80s and went to raiding. So I'm myself personally looking forward to questing through the revamped Azeroth just to see it.
There's also RDF, so people will be doing that as well.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that the benefit of a really long pre-patch ahead of Cataclysm would actually be to entice people who already have 80s into falling in love with the new class structure and talent structure. Because like, remember how in Wrath pre-patch, all the classes were having so much fun in Sunwell, you know, feeling a little overpowered.
Oh yeah.
And I think
they're
that if
saying
you have
that pre-patch isn't coming till like mid-spring.
Yeah, but if you like, instead of having it be 3 weeks, if you have it be like 4 to 6 weeks.
I think it was 4 weeks the last time, wasn't it?
I mean, they got to do beta soon.
Yeah, beta is supposed to come out pretty close to right after. So it'll probably come out end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah.
Based on their roadmap.
But like, I think that like people getting to experience Ruby Sanctum and PvP with like at level 80 with the new talent structure, I think will give a lot of people the idea like, oh, who are like, you know, on the like, you know, screw Kata, I'll never play it train. Like, you know, last hurrah on Wrath. I think I'm like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. Like I feel like an absolute boss on my class. Maybe I will level up. It's only 5 levels, you know, and then they might get hooked. I think that a pre-patch could be really useful in getting more players to carry over.
I have no basis in fact when I say this, but I feel like a lot of people are going to be like me, and they were initially when this all started, like never going past Wrath. But I think a lot of people like me were like, well, I'll try it now. No, I have no basis in fact there. That's just Bob's fieldcraft.
I think honestly, 10-man raids are going to make it easier to play. You know.
Yeah, that's true. I think for a lot of people, it depends on their communities and if their communities are playing, right? And I think that's always been a lot of the basis for WoW is like, if my guild goes on to play, I'm definitely going to go on to play. If they don't, that's where I'm going to be like, do I want to put in the work to find other players to play with that think like me, right? But
Totally.
I think SOD has definitely, SOD has made people keep the same group of friends, but also have different friends as well. And so there is that pulling away from Kata. I think if we didn't have SOD and SOD wasn't as successful, I think a lot of those people that are enjoying SOD would absolutely go to Kata no matter what. I think ICC being so long and then Ruby Sanctum kind of coming in and not really enticing people as much, I think is a downfall. And I think a lot of guilds have broken up and things like that right now, which is going to make it less likely.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people aren't like, if I didn't love my guild, I might be, and didn't have the respect for them giving me gear. Like, I just feel like if I were to stop playing Wrath with them now, it would be such a dick move. Like, I'm almost pure Biss. Like, yeah, I don't get any loot when I show up, but I get to pump. Like, I get to have a good time. And like, they gave me this. Like, it's time to use it now. I dislike the people that once they get geared, they don't want to play anymore. Like, it drives me absolutely bonkers. And I don't know.
I think it'll be pretty successful. So we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll play.
We will just have to see.
I'll play.
All right. The next bit of news is we're going to be talking all about the prep, but just to let everybody know, Phase 2 is releasing February 8th. Guess who was right from the beginning, guys? This guy. It's been saying the 8th
is right
for
twice. I don't know.
I know, yeah. Every once in a while, I get one right. You know what I'm saying? But
so many times I've had to hear this over the last
everybody
week
thought
or
it was like it was going to be sooner, but I just kept saying, guys, I talked to like almost every one of the devs that you've ever seen on anything during BlizzCon, and they all said 8 to 10 weeks. So I just figured 10 weeks. And it's exactly 10 weeks from launch. So it made sense to me.
Christmas
is a factor.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It could be.
So,
but either way,
I'm excited.
I am excited. We could talk about, do you think it is, from your fields, do you think it is too early or too late? Because I could have went on with Phase 1 longer just to make more tunes. Because I thought that Druid was going to be my second favorite character, but Hunter and Warrior have taken over. Druid's my fourth favorite character now, but that could all change next Phase 2. But it would have been kind of cool just to be able to work them all up. But I don't think that's an option with this timing. What do you guys think?
I'll let Joardee go first. I've got a strong take, so I want to let Joardee go.
What was the exact question?
Just, do you think it was too short or too long?
I was listening. I think that I think it's fine. I think it might be a tad short, but I think it's fine.
You think it's short? Most?
Oh no, sorry. I think it's a tad long.
Okay, yeah. I was like, most creators think it's long.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I think I think it's like a week or two long, but it's in the realm of right. And that's good. It's hard because like there are a lot of people that play this game that don't play it the way we play it, and I think that that's an important audience to serve. Also,
I think that's the main audience.
It's a very casual, friendly mode of the game, and so catering to that, I think, is the right call. And so,
and like my friends IRL, if it wasn't like this, they've tried to come back every time Wrath came out, Classic came out. They've tried to come back. They get left in the dust. They're thriving now because now they have enough time. They all have kids. They all do a lot of stuff. Like, it's been really cool for them.
Another thing is like this phase is the first one. And so having it be long gets the most amount of people in the room. You know what I mean? In the game. And so like as soon as Phase 2 comes, it's gonna be like, okay, I'm kind of behind. I don't want to. So it's like I'm less motivated because I'm not caught up with everybody. But if you're in Phase 1, everyone's like, level 25 is not too far away. So when we all benefit, the more players are playing.
All right, Only, what's your
And spiel.
Yeah, what's your hot take here?
So I thought that it was too long, but only because I don't play alts. Like, I thought that phase 1 of SOD was going to be the ultimate test to see if people really were altaholics, like even if people said they were. Because I don't know, Joardee, like I'm sure you get this, like you only have so much to do on your main. And like as a creator, you tend to run out of content unless you have 9 characters to go on. And then even then you're like, okay, here's my, like we're seeing this so much on Twitch, for example, like people being like 6 raids today on all of my characters, and it's BFD, 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 or people doing like open world PvP because I'm burnt out on Warsong Gulch and Ashenvale doesn't give me anything, and also like, and it's just the exact same thing every time. I think that like when I've talked to people asking like, when is it going to be? Like, do you think phase 1's been going on too long? If they say like, yeah, it's going on too long, they're also the people saying like, I really wish that Blizzard was giving us 2 raids next phase, that they were turning Scarlet Monastery into a level 40 raid. Like, they're the people who are saying like, like, I think we need to have longer lockouts so that I don't get burnt out from a raid that I'm doing every 3 days. And wanting like 20-man and 10-man options. They're wanting like a lot more content at the very least. If not like a slower rollout of the content or a slower pace of the content that we do consume, because they're feeling burnt out and like, okay, I've got nothing left. But the people who do really love playing every kind of flavor that the game has to offer, I think, Bob, you're a great example of this. You're just now discovering how fun Hunter is.
Oh my god,
and we're looking at and we've got less than a month left for you to really explore it.
He's who I'm playing the most right now.
4 other classes that you're not gonna get to explore.
I'm farming. I used to hate farming, but I was always a rogue and a warrior. Farming is awesome now as a priest. It's so much, or as a hunter. It's so much fun. Like, and so I've made a lot more money than I normally do right off the bat. Like, because I've just been, and I'm able to kill like 33s if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Or just mow through 28s.
It's so broken.
It's so broken.
As someone who doesn't have very much time to play.
Bob, you want a pre-quest later?
I think it's been perfect.
I got Chiefs, man. I got Chiefs.
All right.
But we are going to do pre-questing via your guide after the Chiefs game. We've been excited about it today.
Oh, that's fun.
Jordy just wants a hunter carry.
Other than needing
that's
to
exactly what I want. Yes.
Other than needing to actually
what
accept the quest Black Fathom Villainy when we get inside of BFD, because I always forget every single time.
Oh no!
I finally finished up my pre-quest pre-questing this morning.
Nice.
Good job.
Wait, hold on. Where were we? You were on something. We just tangent.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying like people like you, Bob, are the people saying like, no, like I don't need more than 1 raid. Like I already have hardly enough time to do everything because like there's so much new content related to the classes. I have to level up each class. I have to spend a certain amount of time doing each class. So I really think that this has been a test of how much do you actually like playing more than 1 character at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And I am resoundingly a no on that.
Well, I will say
2 is too much. Like I'm struggling to, like I'm feeling overwhelmed just having 2 characters.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Only
so I wish that it ended 3-4 weeks ago so that I could have just been comfortable with my druid that I felt like I was progressing with. I of course didn't get everything I wanted, but I'm pretty sure that the mind expanding mushroom doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure that the Keller staff doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure that like Blizzard has installed malware on my client to where I can't roll more than a 4 every time that Calrus's ring drops. Like I've lost the thing 6 times.
I mean,
already.
Just roll with stars. The devs just drop loot.
At this point, I just want to like, I wanted to just like get on to the next phase. Like
I think you're a type of player, I think, that wants to push their 1 character as far as they can, right? And a lot of people are like, I'll spread the love to a bunch of alts and they'll all be pretty good, but nothing perfect. And so like, and I think that that's a good game design, is to have a lot of like, you know,
Yeah,
a lot of people complained about the box turn in rep thing because it was like a pain in the ass, and I was like, okay, well, like it's nice to have a mechanic that takes some time to do so that you have things to do at max level, right?
Yeah,
And so it's
people
like,
just want to be handed all of their power.
And so I think that like certain types of player, like for me, like I've been gone for 2 weeks of this phase, so like I'm a little bit further behind than I wanted to be as far as alts go. But I've been looking at this phase as like, okay, let's get a bunch of alts going so that, because like a lot of the gear here, the rep here, the profession stuff, that can all be solved later because we're just in like the newbie zones. And so it's like I'm less focused on having a perfect alt now than I am having a bunch of characters to choose from later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and we're gonna pick less characters as we go on, right?
I still have to level up my priest and my rogue to 25 because I know that rogue is going to be my preferred DPS class at 60.
Yeah.
Like I was a rogue main in classic back in 2021 when I finally started playing WoW again. And like I'm apparently not allowed to. Yeah, I wasn't playing video games for a long time.
See, in a perfect world for me, it would be like I'd be playing the game at the very end at 60. One of my runs would be a speed run, type of group, and then one of my runs would be a parse type of group, and then that would be perfect for me. The 2 runs I would like to be in.
Characters to be in GDQBs.
And I mean, honestly, that's probably what it goes to. And my hunter is more of like a farmer guy, doing stuff like I don't want to go sweaty on more than 2 characters going forward.
I get that.
Listen, I went to one speed run and it was the most miserable thing I've ever done in my whole life. I didn't know it was a speed run.
It's fun. Like I'm so excited to get into it. I've never had the opportunity.
Run, and it was my
Rugs run.
BFD. It was my first BFD ever, and I didn't know it was a speed run. And I was like, I don't have any mana. I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, oh.
And Rugs was like, we're going, go.
I know. Oh my god.
Isn't that fun?
I love
speedrunning. I've never tried it before. I'm loving it though. Like I've only got to try it a couple times because we were supposed to do that, but then we ended up changing the Sarth run to like maybe a parse run instead. But I really want to I want to try it for the first time. It's a totally different way of thinking. Like you're not trying to parse, you're trying to live and trying to go fast. Like it's
maybe if I went in more prepared.
I was very excited to switch one of my characters, my druid, into Sarth's run because I figured, he's the speedrunning guy. And then I get there and he's just like, okay, this is a parse run. I'm like, damn it. Like I think the problem with putting your faith into Sarth, like a person like Sarth, for speedrunning is that's what he has his EU account for. Like
and he's just having fun with the boys here.
Like he has said so many times, like, like my swamp characters are to play with the boys.
Right.
Like so he doesn't really seem particularly concerned with actually speedrunning. But maybe I gotta go switch over to Rugs runs. That sounds like a blast, man.
Oh my god.
I know Joardee and I really want to try and speedrun Nomer.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah. Well, okay, so coming from somebody who travels a lot for work and works a lot of hours and doesn't have as much time to play as, the other people on this call, I think that it is I think it's been the perfect amount of time. I got to play one character for the most of the time, and I got to level up a druid, and I haven't been into BFD with my druid yet. I don't know how to play my druid really.
But we've been doing stealth runs
with Star Surge.
Get speed Oliver Prebus in the stealth runs, which is so much fun.
Yeah, but I'm really lucky on getting my Prebus. I feel like I get it the first time almost every time.
It is weird.
Nice for you.
Yeah, it is weird.
I mean, knock on wood. I feel like I just jinxed myself there, but yeah, I feel like it's been a good amount of time. I haven't gotten bored. Also, there's the other versions of the game to play too, right? And so I feel like sometimes people don't think about that as much. And if you're just here for SOD, then maybe it is too long for you if you're a min-maxer and you want to, do everything you can. But if you're also playing ICC and Ruby Sanctum and you're also, interested in SOD and you want to get multiple characters up. I don't know. For me, it's been great. I think it's been the right amount of time, but I can see how it could be too long for some people.
And just let you know, Only, this was a decision we came to as a group before you joined us, the no-hit Jerome Sarth run, is that, like, we just feel that BFD is too short to really, like, try to put in the work for the speed runs. Like, it just doesn't feel good.
Well, yeah, I mean, like when world record speedruns are like 10 minutes, like I don't.
Yeah, we want to do it.
I don't see much point in trying.
In Nomer, and Nomer's going to be fun depending on the trash requirements. But there's a lot of cool skips.
Yeah,
like a lot of cool skips for the regular dungeon. So it'll be interesting to see how those turn out. And stuff.
Me, I know.
So
I'm going to be in Beer League.
All right, well,
join me there if you want.
It is coming. So also the next thing in the news is oh shoot, I just clicked it off.
Battle for Ashenvale, January hotfixes, max wait between battles, quest reputation increased.
It's much faster.
It's much faster.
So
too fast.
I was doing it with a couple other people, and we all like got into different groups, and we were all on different layers, right? We're all in Discord, and all of our layers are different. The first layer ended, and by the time I got out of the one in my layer, it was at 63%.
Well, and it can't spawn more than once every hour. So like I have seen it where like the event quote unquote starts, and then everybody was sitting there. This happened like yesterday. But everyone's just sitting there at the boss for, I swear to God, 25 minutes.
Okay, so
until the bosses finally spawn.
So Mel, let me
what?
Okay, Mel, let me explain that.
They weren't allowed to spawn so quickly, and all the layers are different.
So so it says it can't start for at least 2 hours after the last start. And then it can't, and it won't take any longer than 3 hours. But the problem is that some of the layers will be done in 10 minutes, where the other layers will take 45 minutes. So you get out of yours 45 minutes later, you're almost halfway to the next one starting if there's a lot of action in the zone. And it feels
but then that layer that's going too fast basically just like misses a lockout because like it won't spawn again because it already spawned like it already spawned on a different layer.
So it's like a bugged layer.
Yeah, it'll happen at least every 2 hours, but it can't spawn more than once every hour.
They should think about how this works in the future.
Yeah, so like, well, it was super weird. Like, Horde just waited it out. Like, a bunch of people left, but we kept getting more people. And then by the time it finally started, Alliance had given up. They just all left. So it's literally just Horde killing all three of the bosses. Like, nobody was West. The East group had to like fly 40 people out to kill the West boss.
I've done that.
After we were waiting on our last tournament, like people were asking like, what's the West percent? And they were like, literally 5 people have been here. Like the entire time.
What's with the negativity about West? They're like, West sucks again. So it's like, why is that the way that is?
Because nobody goes West.
People want to. Well, that's because people want to get carried.
Yeah. So, like, the selfish people are negative to the people that are being like selfless. In order to
I really think that they need to like double the amount of rep that you get for the West side. Alliance,
the West people are the MVPs. Like,
yes. Absolutely.
They're just there's never any of them. So.
Yeah, like it took us so long. Like we barely even made it. Like, but Alliance hadn't killed a single boss because everybody gave up. God. It was the weirdest Ashenvale event I've ever seen.
We had a friend that was doing it that was in like a run that was about to win. Like
he was walking up to the last boss and
he got kicked from the group. Because he was like on the wrong tower or something. He got kicked from the group and he layered into this one that was.
Okay, so here, hold on. Let me set it up. So he was in a different layer than his raid group, right? So there was only some people from his raid group there. So his raid group, I assume, was in one where West or mid glaive wasn't taken yet. So he's walking up on his lair to the boss. Horde has killed all 3 mini bosses. Alliance has killed only 1. He's walking up to the boss. They kick him from the group probably because they thought he was just not going to help. And then he gets phased to one that's like 2-2. Like two bosses still alive on each side, and we were like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I've been booted before because like I was on the west side. But like, and I'm like, invite west, and somebody from east invites me, and they don't like, I'm like, okay, whatever, like I don't really care enough. So I'm just like, killing the boss, and then they boot me because they're like, oh, this guy's not even with us. And I get layered to a layer that's done with the event already. So I
my
get
God.
like immediately.
And people
so I just get like 0 rep for the event.
People are dumb because okay, so general chat just goes to every layer in Ashenvale. So it's useless to ask how West is doing. If an East group lets like 2 people go West, they can let you know if you guys need to fly over or not. They could be like, oh no, we're about to get it. Like communication would be way better, but people don't think.
Communicate? Nah.
Come on. Get out of here.
Zug.
Yeah, it's silly.
All right.
All right, well, and then
I would say Blizzard, back to the drawing board on World PvP event.
Yeah, I don't know.
100%.
But yeah, otherwise, some great changes. Again, like I said earlier,
the 1000 rep is good.
On to really,
that's really
goofy thing. The 1000 rep is a really nice quality of life change.
Yeah, and it goes past revered.
Yeah, so we'll be doing that on all of our characters until you hit Exalted for the rest of the game, so that'll be nice.
Yep, unless you want to do a ton of Warsong Gulch.
No, thank you.
I'll do it with one character, but the rest of them will just have to catch up.
It's literally doing 100 games. Like,
God.
I cannot be bothered.
No.
100 good games?
It's funny because like no one hit Exalted unless you were ranking in Classic, right? Like it just... Yeah.
I've never even hit revered on one tune until now, and now I have 4 revered tunes.
I'm almost Exalted on my priest after 4 years, and I don't know. Like,
yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Now I've gotten AB Exalted on 3 different characters because it's a good BG, and I have a good ass time in it.
AB is my favorite BG.
Oh, it's so good.
I love AB.
We'll be doing AB a lot.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Oh. Okay, so yeah, that leads us right to the next piece of news. Like the Stranglethorn Vale PvP event, Gren says is going to be completely different, and he says there will be blood. What do you guys think it's going to be? What do you think it's going to be?
I had a really fun theory about it. I'm sure that it's not at all true, but I think it's really fun, and I very much bamboozled No Hit Jerome into believing that this was going to happen because he just
love Jerome.
that I know things. And he's
I love him so much.
Leak it. So like I'm in a chat with him, and he's like, "What do you think the STV event is going to be like? What do you think was with the red moon? That was on the poster." And I was like, "Okay." So the phrase "blood for the blood gods," for Hukar, I was like, ZG is going to be uninstanced. You can just walk into ZG, like maybe just during the event, whenever it happens, every 2 hours or whatever. But pretty much it's just like an every man for himself race through a level 40 raid of ZG trying to kill Hukar as fast as possible. And the team who kills him like gets massive rewards. And you're getting rewards for like, killing players as well. But it's just an absolute cluster. Trying to race to kill Hukar, as an open world boss.
That sounds like a nightmare.
PvPvE.
Because it's blood for the blood god.
Oh man.
I'm very sure that that's not going to happen, but I think it would be hilarious.
That's a cool idea.
I think they're gonna find him. I think they're gonna take it less PvE, and make it more PvP. I think it'll be more kind of like an open world battleground, probably similar to like capturing towers and things that nobody ever really did in the other times that they've been put into the game.
I think Black Reaper in chat is right. I think it's just to be a straight up kill counter, and it's either going to be timed, whoever has the most kills, or whoever gets a certain amount of kills in a certain amount of time. But what are you thinking, Joardee?
So before the blood moon thing, I was hoping it was going to be. I was like. I was laughing. It was just like, okay, Banana Cartel, far north there's a cart, and far south there's a cart, and you need to like
Ooh.
Overwatch push your cart across the zone
God.
and keep it active while you're like, protecting the cart. And then if Horde like wipe you, then the cart stops and whatever, and then whoever gets to the end.
Payload.
This is what
exactly.
Tracksuit said this on the last episode. I wonder if did you tell him that too?
No, I didn't know. That's funny.
He had the same idea. Like maybe you push it from Gromgal to that top alliance area.
It would be fun, totally. And then like it's a bunch of bananas and like it's like venture company cart and whatever. But then I saw the blood moon thing, and I was like, okay, blood moon, blood for the blood god stuff. So it's probably just going to be some type of like, zone wide, open world PvP thing where everybody just can kill everybody for however long.
You're saying even Horde against Horde, Alliance against Alliance.
Oh well, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know.
There's some people that have said that too.
That would be cool.
It would be weird, but it might be cool.
I don't know. Warcraft has always had like a faction thing, except outside of like, but
outside of the Gurubashi arena,
because like the Gurubashi arena like spreads through the whole zone. That would be really cool. So it's like, and then I'm sure there's like kill counters like Reaper saying and stuff like that. We'll see. Either way, I'm sure that they've learned a lot from Ashenvale, and I'm excited for like very toxic Stranglethorn Vale shenanigans because that is like, like someone's definitely gonna make that that supercut of the Vietnam like helicopter stuff and just like it's just gonna be great.
Sorry, I thought
excited.
Okay. I'm kind of bummed that it's Stranglethorn Vale, if I'm being honest. Like, it's such a great zone for everything, questing, and already a great zone for PvP. Whereas Arathi Highlands is kind of like a meh zone that could have really benefited from it being there. But
true.
I don't know why.
I don't think anybody's like stoked on Arathi PvP, but like Stranglethorn is such a huge zone in that like the level band is 30 to 50, so you're there a lot,
right?
Whereas Arathi you're only there for a narrow amount of levels, so
I don't know. One thing that I think would have been kind of fun is to center a little bit of attention on Undercity and Ironforge, though.
Maybe the like I'm
really scared that.
Well, if Nomer is the raid, it could be Undercity and Ironforge that drop the Nomer buff.
Yeah,
and so that's where people will go, right? Like Darnassus will be forgotten. And
don't make me fucking go to Undercity. Come on,
we're gonna be farming.
I'm already not liking Horde
Cathedral though. Anyways, like 24/7.
Actually, no, I guess it'll
probably be RFD. That will be farming. Yeah, Ironforge is a great city.
Ironforge is the best. Stormwood second best.
Not.
Yeah. It's been rough for, I think, me and Joardee being Horde, but we're getting there. Whenever Joardee goes for the Horde in his groups, it's hilarious because it's so pushed.
It's
for the Horde.
I'm forcing it.
I know. Him too.
What can you do?
Oh, I feel you. Yeah, I've never played Horde before.
Right, so your guesses on what Stranglethorn might be only, because we kind of
already said blood for the blood god.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but you didn't have a real guess, right?
Oh, my real guess is I think it's going to be like an expanded idea of Gurubashi, where it's like the entire zone's basically an arena over a King of the Hill type chest, like maybe King Bang will disappear for the duration.
That'd be cool. What if there was like an outdoor boss that you had to kill, like a world boss that
like Hakar?
Yeah, or Hakar, yes, but like not at the back of CG, but
or maybe but okay, if you do that, so that's already the problem we have is with the bosses. If you do that, then you just have one of them. So Alliance and Horde have to fight it out to see who gets to actually kill it.
That'd be cool, dude. I have such good memories. Of, but like fighting for Kazakh kills that first day, like 20 guilds in like stacks of 40, trying to pull and kill Kazak without the other guilds griefing you, and like, oh, that was it was me against Ampi's guild back in the day, and I think
yeah.
And I think that they got it, but only barely, and it was so much fun.
Yeah, but I'm not even saying, Bob, just like Horde and Alliance have to duke it out. I'm saying like
everybody.
We get an expanded Gurubashi as in everybody is PvP flagged.
We talked about that while you were gone.
Unless you're in a party.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
I think that would be really, really fun.
It'd be fun. It'd be interesting though, because if you're in a group, can you still attack your friends? Like, just everybody.
Gurubashi Arena.
Everybody attacks everybody. Party. Oh, you're safe within party.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder if then it would be
extend that to like a raid if they wanted to.
Raid against raid.
I think it'd be kind of wild if you had like 40v40v40. Like it'd be like the battle of 5 armies out of the Hobbit.
Well, and I mean, when we first started, Swamp was like making their own raids for Ashenvale, and then we just realized, oh, we don't need to do that. We could just go by ourselves. But this would encourage people to form a proper raid. Or maybe they cap it at 20-man raid or something. I don't know. Like, but it could like push guilds.
It would just get
to do stuff.
It would just get the min-maxers to have like 3 pre-mades to go against everybody else's one.
That is true.
Like,
it would be like a pre-made Alterac Valley or something. Yeah, any kind of like. Yeah, I guess I don't know, because then you run into the issue of like intentional feeding to like to stack one like clan group, but we'll see. I think they'll figure out something fun. I'm just hoping it feels unique.
Yeah. I feel like even if they just do a kill counter and you're racing to get the most kills before it's done, or just a kill like count that you need to hit, I think that could even be just as much fun. Like, that's pretty simple, but I'm down for these intricate ones.
Even if they just did like multiple areas where you have to capture or not capture, right? So like there's like
Arathi Basin style.
Yeah, kind of like that. But like once you capture them, maybe they're captured, right? But everybody has to go for the same ones. It's not like these are the Horde ones, these are the Alliance ones. It's like there's 6 places for you to capture. You either capture it, like there's a timer for you to capture it. It can't go back to the other faction. Okay,
I'm going to throw this in. I think I heard it on the Comeback Kids, one of their videos. But if we do if we do what Only talked about, where it's everybody against everybody, then I say you can only have 5-man groups, and this wasn't my idea, this was theirs, but you do it like straight up. Oh God, what's the name of the genre? Where you drop in
MOBA.
No, not MOBA. Where the circle Battle Royale, and the circle gets smaller and smaller, and
God, I hate that.
You're trying that could be fun.
Complicated.
That would be fun though.
It would be really fun.
I feel like that'd be so gimmicky.
But then how would you how would you opt out of that? Like if you wanted to just like quest, but there's a fucking storm in Stranglethorn. Like
you can't opt out of the Ashenvale event.
Yeah, you can't opt out of it. I mean, you just don't quest during it. Yeah,
wait like 5 times the amount of people like running around, probably trying to kill you.
Maybe there's like a way to.
Which is why
I mean, it doesn't have to kill you. It could just disqualify you. It doesn't have to kill you.
There's a ton of ways to do it, and regardless, it's gonna be rad because I'm sure that they learned about how shit Ashenvale was. No offense.
One maybe better idea, Bob, that you've given me, because you were talking about like a certain needing to get a certain number of kills or doing certain things. What if there was just like a bounty board in Booty Bay?
That would be rad.
So like get 20 kills or like 20 ears, like a little a little hint at the hardcore server, or like get 5 kills on paladins specifically.
Or what if it marks someone?
Go loot this specific type of item that spawns in like Horde or Alliance chests.
Or what if it gave you like a wanted
areas.
person and you had to go like find this player?
Oh, that'd be
wild. Layers would be.
Yeah,
Wait, you're talking about
you sign up ahead of time and it like doesn't allow you to leave the zone.
You get opted
You're talking
in.
about a changing. What's it called when you
That'd be wild.
People do it for bachelor parties and stuff where you scavenger hunt. That sounds like a scavenger hunt type of thing. And they just change
but you're killing people.
the different. Interesting. That'd be interesting.
Well,
I don't know.
Blizzard, you can send the check in the mail.
Yeah. We've given some ideas. They've been kicking butt, though. I think
Blizzard, I'll take my
Grant's got
royalties
something up his
anytime.
sleeve.
You're welcome for the ideas.
All right, and then the last piece of news. I mean, it's not really super important, but hunters might think it's important. So they're trying to like reel back hunters, like Beastmaster power, and they're trying to like bring up the weapon damage power, but Chimera shot weapon damage increased to 100 was 85%. Explosive shot base damage increased by 25% before attack modifiers. And the mana cost of like basically all of the shots, carve, kill, command, like all of the rune abilities have like the mana cost has been reduced by 50%. The Beastmaster rune now only now gives 20% damage, was 30%, now does 50% focus regeneration, was 80%. I still think Beastmaster's the play, but this could change things as we go to next phase, I think. But I'm still new to Hunter. I could be completely wrong.
A lot of people were saying this is more PvP nerfs than it was PvE. That's from what I heard. I've been killed by a lot of hunter pets. I don't like them.
those
soloing hunter
mashups
pets
of the hunter pets just like killing people are so
Just
fun.
1v1ing literally anybody.
Dude, and the worst is like you're about to kill one and they just turn off Eyes of the Beast and you don't even get to kill the pet. The pet just despawns. It
runs away at 149%. Oh, it despawns. Yeah, true.
Yep, they just like if they do it right, they click off the buff, it just disappears. They cancel it, and it's just like, okay, come on, dude. At least let me kill it.
So good. It's too broken. I'm hoping that with the scaling, things get better and hunters start to move into a better place. But again, it's Season of Discovery. They're gonna balance it. Anyone who's like, "Oh, I wanted to play the broken class," is there's someone that I can think of that says that shit all the time, and it's like, okay, like it's not it's not fair in this scenario to be like, sticking to that. So,
yeah, I think you're right, and I think plus, this was a good change, and I play Hunter.
Plus, like pets are kind of at their peak power spike right now. Like pets aren't going to be as powerful as we move forward. Like I get that they've been super irritating, but like your pet carries you as a hunter in early levels.
Yeah, that's what everybody says.
Later in levels, like it gets to the point where it's dealing like 10 to 30% of your damage. That's just how pets work.
The changes to them scaling is going to help them a bit, I think, but I think you're right. I don't think it's going to be as massive later on as it is now.
I'm very sure that come next phase in PvP, people are not going to be saying nerf hunter because the pets. They're going to say nerf hunter because they're going to get like a disengage rune.
Like, disengage rune would be so nice for freaking
will still
melee weaving.
Yeah, but I think it'll be disengaged.
Hunters are always like some of the best also in phase 1 of raids.
Because the way
they
hit,
get worse and
dodge,
worse
and everything.
Worse. And so, if they're a little bit overpowered now, fine, but they better fucking shut up when AQ40 comes out and they're at the bottom. So
the fact that you can't dodge or parry ranged, right? Like
I know I'm investing in the future.
If you could dodge or parry like shots, like it might be a different thing, like, but you can't, and that's why they're so broken early on.
I mean, you're soloing level 33 miles, 8 above you. It's like ridiculous.
And I'm wearing a Santa hat.
Slanting blows, like
exactly.
Any other physical damage class is, when they finally get one hit on that level 32 elite, it's like 4 damage. It's like, great, I feel terrible. Meanwhile, hunters are going to be doing, 90 to 120. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Okay, that's it. Let's move on to the fun stuff.
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, everybody. If you want to succeed, and everybody's talking about the phase being too long, well, here's something you can do in the meantime to pay it forward to yourself later on. I'm going to give the floor basically to these two guys, and Mel and I might interject here and there to ask a question, but I'll let you guys control the pacing. And I'm excited to hear about this. I watched Joardee's video, but I definitely want to hear more about this. So you guys have the floor.
Joardee, you put out a video?
I did put out a much maligned.
Are you a YouTuber?
I have occasionally YouTubed.
Whoa, that's crazy. Tell me about it.
So I think that Only and I were kind of, shooting the shit as we do, and we were like, oh, let's start working on our pre-quest guide, or our pre-quests. And then we were like, okay, because Only put out a really great TBC pre-quest guide that kind of gained a lot of traction. Or was it Wrath of Lich King? Either way.
It was for Wrath, yeah.
Okay, it's for Wrath. So to get from 70 to like 71 very quickly. And we were like, oh, we should do that because we're gonna want to race to level cap 40 for Nomer, and there's a lot of quests. The world is large. Let's try to figure out exactly what the best route is, because like level 25 is not a level cap that we're used to, and so so we didn't have a lot of experience in figuring out what that's going to be.
Yeah.
So
it's also a really inconvenient level cap, like when you look at because so many people are doing quests like that are at our level for like previous gear or gold, or even for XP while they were making their way to 25. And then you're kind of left with like not a lot of great options to like help you get to like the 28, 29, 30 to like do a lot of the quests that you would otherwise have left to do. Not to mention that like dungeon cleaving is a great, if not the best, source of XP like that you can ever do, or dungeon spamming. You don't need to like be in a cleave group. You don't need to like have 4 other people ready to go. So like there was just this big dilemma. Oh yeah, and even like for dungeon spamming, 25 is like a pretty bad level to be. Like, unless you're Alliance spamming stockades, you're in a really like garbage place where like you're between 2 sets of dungeons. Like things like Dead Mines, which is out of the way for Horde, is too low, and Wailing Caverns is too low. SFK, half the dungeon, way too low. Like you start with gray mobs, but then things like RFK and SMGY are orange and red. So you're just in a really tricky place. Like, okay, how do I actually like move forward and get to a place where I can do like quests in STV that open at 28, where I can like finish off my leveling zones like Wetlands, Duskwood, Ashenvale, that like you kind of need to be like 26 to 28 to like open up your final quest chains. Even for Alliance, like what's it called? Missing Diplomat opens up at like 28, and that's like a massive quest chain that like you really, really want to be doing. So there's just this big issue of like, okay, 25 is kind of a bad level to be at the start of phase 2. But go ahead, Joardee.
And I think like okay, well, I was keep going. We started making this sheet for our our own use, and we were like, oh, this is a lot of information. What if we made this like a more of a public facing sheet? Because like I put out raid assignment sheets and loot proud guides before, and I was like, this will be a great opportunity to like make some content for people. And this is not like a new concept. Like there have been these sheets before. Other people have made sheets like this, so it's not like a big deal. But as we kept going, we're like, what if we, because of the amount of hours we put into it, put a small charge on something like this, and in addition, like provide a ton of extra value. So we built a weak aura that will like automatically check which quests you have available to you or that you haven't done, so that you can easily like plan your route of what your best amount of experience is. And then we're making a rested XP guide also, which is very labor intensive, that you can just follow the arrow. It will turn in all of the quests you've done. It'll detect what you've got and it'll just optimize that for you. And so like, we put a lot of work into like making this as easy as possible for you. And so the benefit is you're going to be able, so long as you haven't done too many of your quests, like we have a lot of backup quests on the sheet that like you're going to be very unlikely to have done unless you went around and did everything. But there's going to be a lot of quests available to you that you're going to be able to turn in right at launch and go from 25 to just about level 29 in like an hour. And so that's going to put you way ahead of everybody else. It'll get you out of the early zones. And it will make it so that you're not, competing for tags and blah, blah, blah. Or it will, like Only was saying, put you in the level band of spamming, Scarlet Monastery Graveyard or RFK in a more comfortable place so that you can get going faster instead of like bashing your head against, everybody else who didn't do their homework and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, and I get this comment a lot where it's like, why don't you just play the game? And it's like, I get that. Like, I get that. Like,
Everybody gets butthurt. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like you don't,
this is playing the game at the end of the day.
You as a player, like, why don't you just play the game? It's like, okay, like the person who's saying that has a couple different like things leading them to say that. One, maybe they don't have the ability to do what we're recommending them to do, and so they don't want other people to be.
They don't want to be told that they're.
You know what I mean?
They want to be told like, oh, I'm not going to be as far ahead because
and
I
so
already
like
did the
I
quest.
get that sensibility, right? It's like I'm jealous, so I'm going to be negative, and like I get that. And the other thing is like I don't have the time or the energy to do this or whatever, or they don't like us. Well, whatever. Like I get that, but there are a lot of people that do want to do this, and like I can tell you from seeing it, it's like a lot of people are interested in this sheet, and it's I think it's very well designed. We did a lot of work on it. It's going to be very easy for you to do on launch day, and it's something that I think that you're going to want to use. So,
well, not to mention that, I mean, like we're plugging a lot of the proceeds that we're getting from this back into building out another guide for phase 3, and we're hoping to keep expanding the list of like convenience features that you can get. Like one of our stretch goals that we didn't get to meet this time around because of the holidays, like having really bad timing relative to building out something like this that can take like 6 to 8 weeks, was like a collection RXP guide. Like I don't know if anybody out there uses like RXP or used the Wrath prequest guide that RXP produced, but like they had like 10,000 steps that you could go through, in order to build out your 25 quest stack that you're going to have prepared to turn in. And that's like an insane amount of work to do to not only walk you through your 25 quests, your 25 backup quests, all of the possible items that start quests, all of the random breadcrumbs that say, oh, like pick this up because you're already here talking to this quest giver. You're going to go over to this next, zone where you can just turn in that quest, boom, an extra 5,000 XP. Congrats on the free XP without, burning a quest slot, all of that. But in addition to all of those steps, having to say, oh yeah, and this is also a quest chain that, it has 11 steps. So we're going to need to track, what you need to do to fulfill all of those quests.
It's such a
arrow. Like it's such a headache. Like that. Building out an effective RXP guide actually has to go through, to the point where like doing it just for the turn-in route is a pretty big ask, and is like really like a primary point of value that we're able to provide. But we're hoping that like Joardee and I have already started talking about what phase 3 is going to look like, and trying to get a sense of, okay, like roughly how much XP will you be able to count on getting. What does the collection path actually look like toward getting your abyss? Like what? Because at the end of the day, like Joardee and I have a stake in this. Like we need to know okay, I've got my pre-bis list, I've got my bis list. If this includes quests or raid quests that I need to complete, should I not do those? Should I forego those? Like in
knowing
exchange for getting to
now,
level 50 a little bit faster?
knowing now which ones not to do would be really great. Just as you get close to level 40, to just like not burn the important ones, and we're gonna make sure that stuff's out.
Yeah, because like I've seen free options out there, and I'm not like throwing any shade onto people who choose to do a free option or any people who create one of these guides and decide to give it away for free. Like that's what I did for Wrath. But one of the things that I very often notice from these guides that are for free, because again I did it myself, is that it often spawns from a person who's saying, okay, this is my quest stack. I will like that I am doing for myself. I will share it with everyone else. And it's really tailored around the limitations of the author. Because of that, it'll be only for one faction. It'll miss certain potential key quests because, I already completed that on my character. Right. But even like looking ahead, like I know Elenia made a guide, like a really great guide. I think it's mostly Alliance focused, if not entirely Alliance. But one thing that hers does is, focus on getting you to 40. So it recommends like a bunch of quests that you should do after you're already done with a stack. But when Joardee and I like took a look at it and we're like, I'm not sure you actually want to like, plan on getting your hypercapacitator or what's it called? The
gyrochronoton.
Yeah, the gyrochromaton that you can theoretically turn in Badlands.
The nifty stopwatch.
For the nifty stopwatch quest, because that's a quest that can theoretically be a series of item quests for our phase 3 stack. Like, so I'm not so sure that that's such a great idea to be following. Or I've seen other ones that have been posted online. Basically saying like, okay, now like go do this whole quest chain. And Joardee and I are sitting there like, I think that that's really great. It definitely min-maxes the total XP you're doing. Like, there's totally merit in following a questing guide. But ours is a quest stat guide designed to get you as much XP as fast as possible. Like, one of the big things that I think sets ours apart, not only like for Alliance, you get about 135,000 XP. That'll get you 15,000 XP short of 29. That's more than 50% of the way through 28, but it gets you all of that XP in under an hour. So you're looking at like 150,000 XP per hour on Horde. The last time I ran it, we made a couple of changes, but the last time I ran through it, we were getting 165,000 XP an hour for a total of 122,000 total XP. Like comfortably, like not as far ahead as Alliance, but still like very comfortably into level 28. But at an absolutely monumental XP rate. And being able to balance those things, like, yeah, every single guide is going to come with drawbacks. Like, I think the biggest critique that you can give to ours is that it doesn't leave you with like quest options if you haven't done your quests already, but it does open up for you the end of Wetlands, the end of Duskwood, the end of Ashenvale. It opens up Shimmering Flats. It opens up the beginning of STV. Like, it opens up a lot of quests. It even starts to open up like more Alterac Mountains things, which is kind of crazy to think that, you could, if you have a group of 5 hunters, you finish up this quest stack, just like go over to Alterac Mountains, start doing level 40 quests. Like, why not if you really wanted to? Right. But like being able to get that much XP that fast is a massive boon. And I think that for that goal, if like you really do want to focus on getting as high level as possible so that you can not be looking at fighting red and orange mobs, but instead be looking at fighting yellow mobs, no matter where you're going, whether it's open world questing, AoE grinding as a solo mage, or dungeon cleaving if you've got a group of friends ready to roll. I think that ours is absolutely the best out there.
And remember, the Gurubashi Arena is not dropping the AGM trinket right now, but it will in phase 2. And if you're level 29, you're going to destroy those level 25s that are running out there to grab it.
True.
That's true. It's true.
I mean, we're hard.
Not to mention that between all of those Gurubashi arenas, if you get to level 28, 29, you can be questing an STV already between them, while everyone else is having to do a 30-minute run even to get there.
And there's a lot of Well, that's the sheet. Hit us up if you're interested. My Patreon, patreon.com/Joardee.
And we'll have a link in the description or the wherever you check it, the pod notes or the description in YouTube. You'll have access if you just check the show notes.
And if you want a free version, I'll send you a few free versions of other people have made too. That's fine. I'm happy to do that. I don't care. But that notwithstanding, there's some other stuff that you can do to like prepare yourself for phase 2 that you should be doing outside of something like this. And we have a big list that we're just going to go through. Where did it go? I have to.
And just to let everybody know, on the Rested XP thing, if any of you are thinking that you have to buy Rested XP to use their guide in it, you don't. You can use the free version and you'll import their guide.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we have
just a heads up to you guys
for that. The Rested XP guide that we are making is not quite done yet, but we're close.
Yeah.
So,
and fortunately, you will not need the RXP guide until launch day. And in the meantime,
it's a guide to walk you through turning stuff in at the best, best
and
possible route.
Exactly. And in the meantime, I've created like some detailed maps showing you what the turn-in route will be so that you can start getting an idea of what RXP will expect from you and where your arrow will be taking you on the day.
But you've got a lot of work to do between now and then anyways with
you've
getting
got 20...
all of your quests done, getting all of your quest starters in your bags, getting anything that you need to like turn in randomly, like the bronze tube for Look to the Stars or whatever, stuff like that. So,
explain the quest starters to people.
31 different types of items that they need to collect.
Yeah. So like if you kill a certain named mob, like I forget there's like a bunch of named mobs.
I had to get
how about,
right.
How about Sharp Talon in
Sharp Talon? There, it drops an item that you can right click and it will give you a quest, but you can just have the item sitting in your bag, not right clicked, so that what you can still stack 20 quests, have extra quests to complete in your bag, so that when you get to the NPC, you can just right click it, turn it in, boom, experience. And so the Horde have like 20 of them, Alliance have like 10 of them. There's a bunch of them, and there's a lot of like minute little ones that you wouldn't expect that give a bunch of experience. And so we can abuse that. There's a lot of little ways you can stack experience if you do it right.
You can collect
will have
stuff.
Done, you can collect
that
stuff
like you're going to turn in, like say the pages in Ashenvale.
Sure.
So you don't even have to pick that quest up. You'll just have the pages, and you'll be able to pick it up after you've turned in a couple of your other pre-quest ones that you did.
And we make sure to route you to that NPC so that you have the opportunity to do that. So there's your bags will be packed, and then by the time you're done, you'll be spent, your bags will be empty, and you'll just be juiced.
Yeah, and we have definitely, like within the RXP guide, we very much include like inventory checks where RXP will say like, okay, like, does this character have all of the needed items in their inventory that they'll need to have for all the turn-ins before they reach another bank? If not, we're in Thunderbluff, we're in Ironforge. Stop at the bank right now. Make sure that you get all of these items.
One of the coolest parts about Rested XP is when they have you bank quest items you don't need.
Withdraw all of the items. That
it'll automatically just yank it, so you don't have to worry about it.
Huge.
I love it.
Okay, and I think one of the other things that I really enjoyed about our process and the result of our guide, Joardee, is like we've heard a lot of people, especially early on, like before rumors about like different leveling methods not working. But we heard a lot of people early on while we were making this say like, oh, like, why do I need a quest stack? I can just stack Warsong Gulch Marks of Honor in my mailbox to turn in. And now we've been like hearing so many rumors about how that's going to be nerfed. Like why do I need to like do this quest stack? Like I can just stack the waylaid supplies in my inventory and item restore the filled ones. Like we've seen waylaid supplies like no longer be item restored.
So
like
gross.
People are talking about like item restoring like filled ones for only 200.
Yeah. Remember?
Can I point out something?
I'll farm 2,000 boxes.
Remember those
like,
guys?
I'm pretty sure these are going to like be like nerfed
the fishing
too.
One for
exactly. Yeah, there was the fishing one for Wrath,
and someone had farmed like a gajillion of them, and then Blizzard nerfed it, and that poor guy. Just like,
well, the thing is,
thousands of hours wasted.
That's like, stupid. Here, let me just throw this in. That item restoration thing is such a big problem. So much in Classic for people abusing it. What I don't get is if you item restore something, That should be a 24-hour. You need to get it out of the mailbox before 24 hours. Why is it 365 days? Why did they ever make that the rule? Like that makes if you want your item back,
was
24 hours.
One edge case, and they were
Yeah,
like, "Oh,
especially when it happens, like when it goes back to your mailbox instantly. It's kind of crazy. But to finish my thought, like one thing that I particularly liked about our chosen route is that we only like in that like 135,000 XP for Alliance, like 122,000 for Horde, and I think Horde is even up to like 126,000. Now I haven't done that
So
in
nuts.
a while.
You get me excited.
But we never included any supply boxes, and we only ever included like the 6 turn-ins for Warsong Gulch that you would be able to keep in your inventory. Like, so like not having any of that weird cheesy method. And we're still able to like get people very comfortably into level 28. If you do want to min-max our guide and then go above and beyond and do supply shipments or extra Warsong Gulch Marks of Honor, like if neither of those are nerfed, that's like the key way. Like if you want to hit 29, if you want to hit like screw it, maybe 30, like sky's the limit if you're really going to go that far. Like this like you can absolutely get there. But it was really, really fun realizing just how much you could get at level 25 without using either of those methods. And I'm sure that in phase 3, like we're going to be hitting really similar things. Like we've seen it so many times. If you look at Rav's leveling journey for hardcore when he died, how he got boosted 10 levels off of the troll necklaces. Like you've got the Waste Wander Bandit water skin turn-ins too at level 40. I 100% expect people to be farming those from day one and selling them on the auction house because they're not soulbound. Because people will say like, oh, if I farm like 10,000 of these, then I can get from 40 to 50. I did the math on it actually before SOD launched. I'm pretty sure the number you need for troll necklaces is like 10,800 or something.
Nice.
Which is like literally insane.
Untenable.
Yeah. But like, I'm sure people are going to be like thinking of doing that. And I'm very sure Blizzard is going to nerf it.
Yeah.
Like they're absolutely going to make it like a one-time turn in, or like you don't get XP past level 40, like something like that. And like, so yeah, being able to know what is possible without doing any of those like quote unquote skeevy methods is really, really fun and has been a really enjoyable part of this process.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been cool.
It's been weird, like min-maxing this as extremely as we can, but I'm finding it like a lot of fun. It's a puzzle, and sharing with all these people and getting to see all these different points of view has helped us optimize it even further. So it's been fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you want any help from my hunter, like Monday through, I'll be free, and my hunter isn't going to be working up with Mel. He's going to be solo. So I'd love to get some pre-questing in.
I have all of Hillsbrad left to do, so let's do it.
Sweet.
And Hillsbrad has a couple of elite quests that are very annoying. You're going to have to kill some level 30, 31s.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mel and I have done that with my rogue and her priest. We've done the ones where you kill the different boss names and feed the dog the stuff. And yeah, it's also alliances there constantly hiding in their greens to kill you. Their greens meaning the mobs around there are red to us, green to them. They're such good PvPers. Okay, so all right, so I'm trying to so basically what they'll get now is they'll get if they go, and it's only $5, right? On your Patreon.
Yeah.
Like I think you offered it to me for coming on the show. I'm going to pay for it anyway. Like I'm just going to pay, because you did work.
The level 41 and the level 51. And then we're going to do raid assignment sheets, which I did for Wrath of the Lich King that people loved, and loot prio guides for Molten Core. This is all depending on loot being, I mean, we'll see. It'll be
loot being different.
It'll be hard to do the loot prio guides.
It's going to make sense to be part of your Patreon more than just for this.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of resources there. And you know, I appreciate all the support. It's like, you know, Only and I are splitting all this 50-50, and it's going to be, you know, really beneficial for everybody to get on board. So hopefully.
So,
I mean,
so like if you get the sheet now, you can mark stuff off. Yeah. And I mean, they have plenty of time now because we do have plenty of time. And they gave us, I loved how they let us know when it's coming so early, like over a month early, they let us know when it's coming. So you have so much time to do this. And a lot of people say that they're bored now and they have nothing to do. You can
and if you've done
be getting ready.
Quests, if you've done all of your quests on a character, like you still have time to just level a new character and then get a full quest stack. Like if you wanted, if that's something you wanted to do, you can. You know, if being level 40, maybe a little bit faster, is more important than keeping your gear that you've gotten from BFD, then go for it.
There's time to get into BFD.
You've got time. Like Joardee said a few times in this podcast, like Season of Discovery is like very accessible to people who want to play casually, and like leveling a character to 25, getting a stack of 20 quests, maybe not even worrying about all the extra stuff, is like very achievable. So yeah, definitely never really too late to start working for it.
The hardest part is just going to be not turning the quests in. Looking at all those completed quests, like Joardee talked in his video, the dopamine of that. But we just got to wait because on the 8th, the dopamine is going to be through the freaking roof.
So Finn's asked in chat, does the sheet update or will we get notices once the RXP route is going?
Yeah, so if there are big sheet updates like the route changes, I do an in my Discord that if you link your Discord, you get access to like the Patreon channel. And then when the Rest XP guide comes live, I'm going to make a Patreon post.
Do you have
so you'll know there.
Is your Patreon, does it do it automatically? Because I need to let people know if you do not the automatic stuff doesn't work unless you have the same email for your Discord account and your Patreon account, or the automation will not happen.
Google how to do it. It'll walk you through it, and then you get access to like a Patreon only channel on my Discord that we talk about the sheet and like optimizing the guide, and you can ask questions and all that stuff. So, and someone also asked, like, does it automatically update? And I was actually just alerted that there's a way to automatically update your sheet instead of, because like
when you make a copy, like that, we
like
tell everyone once you get access, make a copy, and then you can start playing with it yourself.
Yeah, because you can't like write your info into the public copy, right? Because everyone needs to pull from that. So you make a copy and then you can start checking boxes off and like deleting stuff that you don't need, whatever. But there is a way to push live updates from one sheet to a copy of a sheet that I did not know existed, that we're going to look into implementing for phase 3. So that when the route does change, you can see it. And apparently
it's just download a copy once and you never have to worry about anything again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
But as it stands, if there are updates, you do need to make a new fresh copy and then like re-input your stuff. But it's not so labor intensive that it's not worth doing.
I mean, you're clicking boxes.
Yeah. So Bob, to answer your question that you asked, like right now, what do you get like from getting access to this sheet? So it's a Google Sheet document right now. It's got several different tabs depending on if you're Horde or Alliance. The first thing you'll see after getting through the the should read how to guide at the front of it is your quest stack page, where you will see a few different categories of different quests. Those quests that we recommend you have in your quest stack. It starts with 20 quests deemed quote unquote best, which are the ones that we absolutely recommend. And then about the same number of backups. So in total, we're preparing you we're budgeting you 40 potential quests. If none of those are available, you probably should have looked at your map in Questy and said, oh, maybe I don't have quests to do a quest stack. So I'm gonna have to say that one's a little bit on you.
Even after you've done all the like Mel and I did all the Hillspread ones, but we still have all the southern barons. We still have all the You would have to have really
a lot of
quested a
quests
ton.
You probably
not have
done
any.
Yeah.
stone talon, right?
Yeah, nothing.
I would be surprised.
And stone.
not so touch,
Or not,
what's Thousand Needles?
Thousand Needles. Yep. No, we haven't done any.
You probably haven't done many
unless
of the
you have
Hillsbrad
quested for
quests.
gold, you probably haven't done much of Hillsbrad, or at least any of Hillsbrad that we recommend saving. You probably haven't done any of any of Thousand Needles. You probably haven't done much of, if any, Ashenvale, and those are like the big ticket turn-in areas. You know, there are of course some scattered throughout the world for Alliance. You know, things like in Wetlands, Duskwood is one of those where like most of the quests you probably would still have, but maybe you haven't. Some very late Red Ridge Mountain stuff, random stuff like that for Horde, stuff scattered about in the Barrens, for example. But yeah, like no matter where you're at, you should be in a pretty good place to at least get deep into level 27, which is really great. Still.
Yep.
But in addition to your quest stack, you can see items that are available for pickup that start quests, like Joardee was explaining. Breadcrumbs, as you're in the turn-in route, you can pick up a quest, turn it in at some other guy. The Alliance ones, you can get. Let me do a little check for you really quick. In the Alliance quests, there's the Audience with the King. There's a way to where you get your Seal of Rin. I get that a lot of people would have done this, but if you haven't, if you go through just a few of the steps, running around Stormwind, turning in other quests anyway, so it makes that route well more worthwhile. You can get 4,630 XP off of the last little bit of that chain after you finish the attack, just by talking to people. There's random things, we tell you to go up to Hillsbrad at a certain point to turn in a quest, and then we tell you to pick up reassignment, the quest after killing the Murlocs, and then the Murlocs again, and then the Naga, and that gives you 3,200. So these breadcrumb quests, we often think of them as the quest leading into a quest chain, but oftentimes it's the quest at the end of a quest chain. And those ones give massive amount of XP, so we really didn't want to overlook those. And then of course the bonus methods like Warsong Gulch tokens, the supply boxes, etc. From there, you've got a map tab where you can actually see what the route looks like on the day of, and this is the tab that you get in lieu of having the weak aura ready, but you can at least see it all visually laid out, zone to zone, quest hub to quest hub within a zone. If you have quests to turn in a city, we will literally walk you through, okay, go to the trade district, now go to the mage quarter, now go to the cathedral if you're in Stormwind, for example.
You can be excited.
And then last up, you've got an item checklist. Basically, on the day the day before, you're going to log out until phase 2 launches. We've got a list of, okay, here are the items that you need to have in your bags for tomorrow. And you can check them all off. Okay, here's the items that you should be having in your bank for pickup in your route. You can check them all off. And these aren't just the items that start quests, for example. This isn't just your cloth turn-ins. These are all of the items that you have within your quest stack too. If you've got Assault on Fenris Isle, for example, for Horde, this is a quest that you would turn in at the Sepulchre as a backup quest on our sheet. You need Thul's Head. That's the very first item that you'll be told, hey, make sure you've got Thul's Head. So yeah, all of that is already taken care of for you. You can make sure that you're 100% ready. Not to mention, sorry, Joardee, the weak aura. Not to mention the weak aura that you can download that'll literally show you on screen in your game all of these quest categories, your best quests, your backup quests, your item quests, your breadcrumbs, and it'll say if that quest is available for pickup, if it's not available, as in you've already done it, or if it's already in your quest log and you're good to go. And they're all, routed into specific quest IDs, because we know that some quests are called the exact same thing. For example, the Defias Brotherhood, which is a breadcrumb quest that we recommend for Alliance, for when you are flying west and doing some crazy turn-ins all around Duskwood. We know that can get confusing for you. Okay, which step, do I actually need? In addition to have it linked on your quest stack tab, we've got it linked appropriately on the weak aura, so that it's telling you immediately, okay, stop now. You don't want to go any farther. So yeah, we've got all that stuff, and then of course the RXP guide itself will be coming out ahead of phase 2 launch. So that once you log in, all you got to do is follow an arrow.
Which
I
is very
really
helpful. I'm
love
very
following the
reliant
arrow.
on my arrow.
They
I
are
really
the
love
best.
it. It feels. I always thought I would hate guides.
Yeah.
But it feels so
Yeah.
good. I don't know
But
why.
all of that for only $5. Like that was like an insane amount of things. You were probably like,
I mean, it
"Only,
is an
please stop
insane
talking.
amount
You're
of-
talking for way too long."
No, I
Only
was
just
getting excited the whole
hard-sold
time.
fuck out of that, and I'm proud of him.
Yeah, I'm getting like I've said, you guys offered it to me free for coming to the show and everything, but I want to pay for it because that's the same way with Rested. Like I want to pay for it because it's a good service, so.
Thank you. No, we appreciate that. We sure think it's a good service. I mean, we wouldn't have made it if like we didn't feel like it was good enough for us. Like I made a new character so that I could min-max this guide.
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
heard people
working for
that
me.
do that, and it's crazy to me. They're like, I already did a lot of these. I want to make a new character, hit 25 with it, and just get every single quest.
Not do
It's
those
like,
quests
you
that I
guys are
shouldn't have
fucking
done.
Crazy.
Yeah, see, we only overquested on the Rogue and the Priest, and then all the other twos, the Hunter and everybody else, has got everything. So this guy is going to be amazing for all of our other characters.
Yeah, something really fun about this also, like we often hear like how annoying it is to start leveling a character like deep into a phase because there's no one to quest with, like there's no one to dungeon with, all that. You can be using this stack on an alt that you don't plan to level right away to get them up to level 28, 29, to a better place midway through the expansion if you wanted to. It's not like this is only useful on launch day. I have this stack prepared on 2 characters because I know that I want to get them both to 40 fairly quickly. And I know, again, that at least for Horde, where I am, like being level 25 is a pain in the ass. Like it's just not a good level to be if you're trying to start a phase. So I'm very, very excited to be having it for myself. And again, at the end of the day, the goal is to help people get ahead. And I really do think that we're doing just that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put a ton of work into this. I appreciate it. I'm very excited. I love questing.
I hate questing. That's why we did this.
I used to hate questing
I like
until
appreciate
hardcore.
questing.
Yeah, until hardcore, all of a sudden, I liked questing. I don't know what it was.
But on hardcore, it's like every decision
Matters, yeah.
So it's like, but and this is like, this same fucking 12 things that aren't dropping.
Yeah, sometimes I do get upset. Like, don't get me wrong, I get upset at the not dropping stuff, and I'm like, Mel's always like completionist, and I'm like, no, this quest, no, can we just move on, please?
Yeah.
Like, usually what happens is he's like, fine, you just loot everything. I'm just going to let you complete it, and then we're going to move on. I'm not even going to worry about it.
And then Mel's 60 and you're 55.
That's really funny. Yeah. That reminds me of
happened.
Yeah, that reminds me on hardcore launch, I was leveling with Crix, and he kept like not accepting quests, or like he would drop quests because like he forgot to loot something, and then he ended up being like 20,000 experience behind me.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like by the time we were level 40, it was like, oh man, like it's like almost a full
and he'll
level
drop
right now,
quests
dude.
that were like lead-ins to other quests, and then all of a sudden he won't have one of the other quests that I have, and I'm like, oh, you're coming with me because
it was a big nightmare, especially when you're like trying to level with somebody and be step for step. Because I was just feeling bad for him. Like, dude, like, should I just like drop group and pocket heal you for some mob grinding or something? Like,
like you guys have been answering these questions in chat, but maybe we should answer them on the stream if you guys want to. But are there any escort quests on the stack?
You're not any that you will complete during the quest stack. So one of the things that we made sure to do is the completion of quests, the fulfillment of a quest, only happens once in the guide, and it's an optional continuation of a quest started by Assassination Note in Thousand Needles, where you can continue it, and it basically spawns a bunch of mobs that try and attack your NPC that you turn into, and it takes a little bit of time. There's some RP involved. But it doubles the amount of XP that you get from this quest item that isn't even sitting in your quest log anyway. So like, I'm like, yeah, like you can do this quest if you want to, but of course it's a backup. Like this isn't something that I'm going to recommend because again, we're not only min-maxing the experience you can get, but we're min-maxing XP per hour. And this is a turn-in guide, not a questing guide. At the end of the day, if I was going to say use a questing guide, where we were telling you to do quests, I would say go buy RXP. Like they can absolutely make a better questing guide than I can.
Yeah.
But
how many times while
they've already
putting
done
together
it.
the RXP stuff have you guys been like, do we really want to put this into RXP? You just said it's a lot of work.
It's a ton of work.
We're still in the process of doing it. We have a rock star, our friend Jasmine Knight, who's helping us do it. She's much more experienced with working with it, and
I have told her many times that I'm a troglodyte when it comes to coding. So.
She's helping us get it all, sorted and clean, and so we're still in the process of doing it. But it is a nightmare, and especially because we don't work for RestXP. I guess they have tools internally that make it a lot easier, and we're just kind of like.
We're just three people.
It's one of those things I feel like you're like,
it's not easy.
This would be a great idea. And then like halfway into it, you're like,
why did I do this?
Great idea.
Yeah. Jazz had the idea of making the collection guide. And I was like, that sounds awful. Like,
it was really, really funny. Like Jazz and I were talking, like, as she was starting to like get it started, she's like, yeah, it's actually like a really good way to like kind of verify all the steps, make sure that everything is correct, that we're not overlooking anything, or like, oh, this item actually drops without needing the quest in your quest log already. Like this quest, like she caught like a quest chain that turns into a level 26 requirement instead of a level 25 requirement midway through that I hadn't caught when I was doing all of my research on Wowhead. And she was able to find that for the collection. But then we like told Joardee, like, oh yeah, Joardee, like we're already like working on the collection. Like, I don't think you realize like, how much work and like what the value of this product is going to really be. Like, because for full transparency, I was like, Joardee, you're sure you want to only sell this thing for $5? Like, this is insanely cheap for what we're giving.
It is. It is actually insanely cheap.
He didn't know that Jasmine Knight was working on this collection guide, and then he's like, oh God. Like, are you sure you want to do this? Like, this sounds like literal hell.
Was like, yeah, it's just untenable. Like,
because again, when you,
I think we're going to do something like that for phase 3 because we're going to have more time to.
We're going to have way more time
because we didn't
start work on this until just before Christmas.
It was like the end of December, and we were like, oh, we should do this, and then I was gone and whatever.
Yeah, I think
we're gonna do it for phase 3, and it'll be fun.
I remember only pitching it. And I think Sarth wanted to be involved, but then I think we were like, I don't know if Sarth's gonna keep going with us.
Sarth has way too many things on his plate.
Yep, he has way too many. Okay, so Finn's in chat was just asking, like, with the sheet getting updated and worked on, is it smarter to set up the stack closer to release?
The route should be close to perfect at this point. Or the stack itself.
we've had a few hundred people now like actively collecting and testing. I think that we found one change that resulted in a couple of people like taking a quest chain too far. But other than that, we have only ever been told things where it's like, oh hey, there's this extra thing, or oh hey, like there's been nothing that like makes you regret starting now, other than literally one change that happened.
I think you're good to go
on the day of our release.
If you're hurting on bag space, like that might be a problem. But yeah,
make sure you've got big bags for this because you're gonna need to load up in order to get it all.
Yeah.
Ugh. And bank vaults.
True.
Except for the hour.
I mean, like you can hold things like all of your cloth turn-ins in the mailbox. I'll say that much at least.
Same with consumes.
Any of these quest items that are not soulbound, consider putting them in your mailbox. Like one of the tips that we give you, that's kind of like outside of the actual quest route, is like once you've loaded all of your quest items to your bags that you're gonna need, like before going to a bank, consider just filling up the rest of it with swiftness potions. Like being able to have swifty pots is gonna be huge.
It's so sweaty. Swiftness pots.
That is a good question.
What do you mean that's so
chat.
sweaty?
It's so sweaty.
So okay, that is a good question.
Salesman of a guide that gets you almost level 29 in an hour.
I love it. I mean, I'm almost done with my stack. but I haven't thought about like
how
to maximize the speed.
How much bag space?
Yeah, because that's one thing rested XP kind of fails on, especially in the speed guide thing, is like they expect you to not pick up things like to sell, like they're expecting you to like leave items behind with the amount of, and this is while you're questing, but yours is going to be a turn-in route. So like, what are you basing? You could like basically base.
We based our route on you having at least 4 6-slot bags.
Oh, that's perfect. That's awesome.
So if you're a hunter with 3 6-slot bags, you are SOL.
So
but you're a hunter, so just buy an 8-slot bag.
3 10-slot bags.
Buy 3 8-slot bags. Buy 3 10-slot bags. Like you're a hunter. You're gonna be fine.
Or kill level 33s and get 14 slot bags.
Yeah, like Joardee and I did the math super early on. We were like, oh, like, do you think people would get screwed by having like all of these quest items? So we wanted to check because this was when we were like first starting to theorycraft about like, oh, our supply shipments worth inclusion. But yeah, so we like very quickly were like, okay, like how many quest items do you theoretically need? Like we need to think about like people who like turn in a quest item but then get like a reward item from it, or maybe 2 reward items from it. So like obviously like always keep, when you start this thing, always keep 1 inventory slot open whenever you're going out, because you are absolutely going to get items as a reward. For some reason, randomly, some quests like won't take the item from your inventory until they give you the reward. Yeah. Like the order is just flip-flopped. So like some quests you're not able to complete if your inventory is full. Whereas others, it just replaces the item with the reward. It's super weird.
It is weird.
Also, tiny tip that I didn't do this, I swear, but make sure you turn your auto quest turn in off, because you might be talking to an NPC that you have a quest to turn into that you don't want to, because you want to wait and you don't want to just like dump all your quests.
Yeah, make sure. Yeah, Questy, turn that thing off. Yeah, completely. Yeah. And if you're using a rested XP guide, you should probably turn rested XP off while you're doing your pre-quest, because it's going to turn in. Or you can just learn to you can set it to whatever you want, like holding down shift or holding down alt, but like that's, you're gonna screw yourself by doing that like that.
Like, so I've seen people have a problem who like think that they can hold shift to like stop Questy from turning it in, but then the problem is they also have RXP and Leatrix Plus that have auto turn in options, and like
just so many turns.
So they have it set to alt.
On 3 different add-ons, like RXP is hold down control. So like if you got RXP, you have to hold down control and shift, but if you're holding down both of them, then it's a different input. So like neither will work. Like
just turn it all off.
It's if you don't want to auto turn in things, just turn them all off. Like no matter what your situation is. And you only really need to have one turned on to begin with.
Yeah. Yes. True.
So what are other things besides quests that let's see, you got that down here. Other tips? See, you have a few things down here.
Yeah, I added this because like phase 2 is coming, and that's really exciting. Like and there's like getting a quest stack and being really sweaty like me and Joardee and gross and needing a shower isn't the only thing that like you can theoretically be doing now to like continue getting yourself all excited and giddy. Like having a leveling plan at all is really useful. Like knowing if you want to quest, if you want to duo with somebody or solo, like if you want to do some dungeons, just know like what zones you're most excited for. Like all of those things are really helpful, so that generally like what your game plan is. It's again only 15 more levels. Yeah, they're a little bit longer, but it's really exciting content. Like we get to go into STV, for crying out loud. Like that's a great zone.
Arathi Basin.
Getting to 40, there's going to be a lot of really fun content. Yeah, we're going to get mounts. We're going to get dual spec. No, I'm just kidding. But we're going to have like Nomer. We're going to have.
I think it's very possible we get dual spec.
Scarlet Monastery Cathedral, we're going to have RFD available to us, even though it's going to be a little bit high with bosses, I think level 43. Still, it's going to be very possible. People are 100% going to be doing Zul'Farrak at level 40. which is going to be pretty cool.
Lots of our bits is in there. We definitely are doing it.
You can go into ZF with 10-man raids. It's going to be like when we were in hardcore doing 10-man lower Blackrock spires to gear people up.
What? You
What?
can go into ZF with 10 people?
You can go into every classic dungeon up until BRD with 10 people.
No shit.
Yeah, you can.
I knew Scarlet
you can raid
Monastery
every
you
dungeon.
could.
Mhm.
But like no one ever did it because of the XP
Every
drop.
dungeon that doesn't have a cap of level 60 can be 10-manned, other than LBRS and UBRS, because
That's going to be a
technically raid.
second, like, kind of half raid because there's a ton of like.
Yeah,
Unless
I think it's
the
gonna be a
things, unless the things replace them, there's a ton of really good.
So like
items
one
in
thing that
there.
I'm really looking forward to. Did any of you ever in TBC participate in Sunwell trash GDKPs?
Oh yeah.
Where it was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
so
The
you just got like
mages.
you got like 5 mages, 1 priest spamming mass dispel,
Mhm.
and then like your 4 buyers, and they would just like kill the first 2 packs of trash all at the same time.
The thing about that, I guess you're hoping for good level 40 greens, or what is the the point
in
of
ZF,
in
ZF, we can
ZF,
be getting
like farming
some great
edgies
blues,
or what?
greens, and epics
I mean,
out of
I know
ZF trash farms.
Edge Masters,
And I'm pretty sure they're
I don't
most
think
of
they're going to be
them.
that good this time around.
Most of them are like 40 or under, right? Like most of the items that you're getting out of there, like you can equip them at 40 or under.
Blues are 45-ish.
Are they?
Yeah, I think the highest one's like 48.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe. I was thinking the gloves were going to be best in slot for like warriors and stuff. The gloves that do attack power.
All I'm saying is that these Zul'Farrak zombies and Sand Fury Witch Doctors in Zul'Farrak can drop the bow of searing arrows.
Yeah, but that's not going to be that good. I mean, there will be better.
Yeah, but it's still going to be hype. Like, come on now.
I mean, there's Jang Thrays and stuff like Soul Thras, but that's all level 45 gear.
Prize level 40,
like
43.
So
44.
maybe towards the end of the phase,
the Jumanza grips and Zamra's Vexing Cane are level 42. Vice grips are
you're
43.
right. They are. Okay, I thought Vice grips were going to
mages
be.
are going to have a fun time boosting people there, just being absolutely cracked. It's going to be a time. I think that there's some really good opportunity for 10-man raids. Maybe it won't be a GDKP, but you can absolutely 10-man that place and get a lot of like really good pre-bis gear, so that you don't have to burn all of your quest stack for phase 3 to get your like Warsong boots equivalent or your Tunic of Westfall equivalent.
Sure.
Also, just straight up.
I'm with you. I'm not hating. I'm with you.
Yeah. Also, just straight up vendor trash is going to be huge. Like, I mean, it's going to be great. But yeah, like, Joardee has to go here soon. So, just like consumes, remember to use the mailbox. Like, you could have stuff. Go get your flight pass. That's huge too.
Run around the world. Remind yourself what Siltus looks like.
Yeah, and like use the mailbox for your cloth turn-ins and everything. Those are just extra quests on top of your stack. You know that are going to be really good. I mean, and then
make sure you have enough gold for a mount of 40.
Yep.
Make sure
which are cheaper now.
Yep.
Sure.
For some reason.
50?
Yeah, I don't know why.
50 gold total, 40 gold if you have all of your discounts.
Yeah.
Yep. So
okay. Cheap, great.
Yeah. So, yep. I think that's been a good show. Let's start closing us out here. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the Mash Network. If you want to write an email into us, it's WCRpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord, it's warcraftreloaded.com/Discord. If you'd like to help us with Rested XP, it's warcraftreloaded.com/Rested XP. What am I forgetting? Oh, if you'd like to help us out, like the comments on the YouTube blew up this week. So I guess the like comment of the week thing that Table came up with was pretty good, but keep them coming. Keep helping us grow there. That helps. And everything else is all at warcraftreloaded.com. And you find most of our links there. I think all of our links. And yeah. Only, where can we find you?
You can find me at my house by peeking through my window.
Please do not do that.
You find Only on like everybody's stream.
That's true. I'm usually on other people's streams, which I thoroughly enjoy. But on occasion, you can find me at twitch.tv/onlyblacksmoke. Just like it sounds. No spaces, no nothing. And yeah, or on Twitter at only_blacksmoke.
Definitely follow him on
social
Twitter.
media form that I 100% use.
He's gonna start
24/7
tweeting a lot more.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be twittering all the time.
Could it be Xing?
It's Xing.
Xing?
No, it's not.
No.
What are the most?
Denied.
What are the most popular names in the internet history? And they decide to change it. Funny.
Yeah.
All right, Joardee, where can we find you?
I'm at twitch.tv/Joardee. I'm on Twitter at Joardee, JOARDEE. Weird spelling because everybody else.
Joardee.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube also. That's probably where I should be the most, on YouTube.
You can also find him on Patreon at
Patreon. You have said that word a couple times. I'm in a couple places. I'm in Bob's stream sometimes because we're raiding together. I'm in Mel's stream sometimes because we're raiding together. Yeah, things are good.
All right. And
Come hang out.
they are going to give me all of their links, so they should all be in the show notes for you guys to check out and easily click on. Mel, where can we find you?
Nowhere. You can find me here. Maybe on Twitter.
On my
We
stream.
found you, Mel. We found you.
Bob's
What are you
stream.
You can
You
find
found
Mel
me.
out and about touching grass because she's got a life.
living life,
Occasionally.
traveling, being a person instead of
Yeah,
a cave
going
dwelling
outside.
All right. You
monster
can
like the rest of us.
Truly nuts.
You can find me on Twitter at blazin_bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can also find me streaming and this show live on twitch.tv/blazinbob. All right, guys, we're getting out of here. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.